welcome my co-host today. She is Srishti Casey from Nepal, and she's been a catalyst and a participant of Kanthari, and she's been associated with Kanthari for the last 11 years. Right, Srishti?
Yes, and let me have my privilege to introduce my co-host, Priya Mohan, who was working as an ex-intake coordinator, actually also taking me in with the tough interview process here in Kanthari, and now living in Germany, but have been associating with Kanthari, I think, similar years now.
That's
yeah?
right. Yeah,
So,
we're very
yes.
much very close to the years. Yes. Since you've been here for the last 11 years, probably a little bit to our new audiences who are here online and offline, probably just give us an idea about Kanthari, maybe, Srishti?
Absolutely. I think we welcome all our online and offline audience present here to hear the other vibrant, spicy, fiery speeches that has been addressing a creative solution for the problem that world have been facing so far. So Kanthari, we are right now also in our own beautiful campus, Kanthari, which is situated just behind the beautiful Velaini Lake. So Kanthari is a leadership institution that offers 12-month-long lasting experiential learning for the people coming from margin of the society. Every year, we train 15 to 25 participants who has a guts to challenge the status quo. And they come from diverse background, you know. Some have PhD, some are school dropout, some are blind and disabled just like me, others have no disability at all. And all these does not matter. You know, here is a very inclusive environment, everyone having the same high expectations to achieve and create impact in the society, and that all what matters, the sense of ownership, passion, and a desire to create a positive impact in the community. I think it's worthy to mention that this process, we call it as change from within.
Great. And through this Kanthari program so far, do you know how many Kanthari graduates, Srishti? Any guess?
I don't want to guess. It's a fact. So
You're
say
right.
it.
So we have 258 Kanthari graduates from 53 different countries. 150 plus organizations have been registered already that are impacting the lives of thousands of people who are situated at the margins of the society.
Yes, and the intake is still going on.
That's right.
So definitely, who has a dream of creating a social or environmental impact in the community, or if you know anyone who can or are interested to create an impact in the community, please ask them to apply today, we would say, because it's soon closing up, the deadline is soon closing up, so don't miss out this wonderful opportunity to transform your life and to transform your community's life.
And these participants, they all address different social issues such as environment, agriculture, disability, LGBTQ, women empowerment, alternative education, mental well-being, food diversity, and many more. And today, to know a little bit more about Kanthari and a background of Kanthari and speak a little bit about Kanthari, we would like to invite our co-founder, Paul Cronenberg, on the stage. Paul.
Welcome, Paul.
Easy, easy. All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone at home. So you might wonder, we have a logo, and it has 5 little chilies, and then 5 different colors. So when we started off as the International Institute for Social Entrepreneurs. Terrible name. Yesterday, Sabri already mentioned that we got a better name, Kanthari. So the small chili, very powerful, pungent, makes you awake better than coffee can, purifies your blood. It's a change maker. Now, we looked at different kinds of change makers, and we came up with the following 5. Green one. The green one are initiators. They start training programs, or they start environmental, they address environmental issues. So, for example, yesterday we heard Miat, who is working on, environmental issues in Myanmar. The yellow Kanthari is all about technology. So yellow Kanthari uses technology to bring people that are on the margins of society inside, and using technology that is low or no cost. Now, we have one speaker today Etan, she will speak about water and water replenishing. And here, technology plays a very important role to make sure that that is going to happen and to create a better future for people in an area where water scarcity is a big problem. Then the third kanthari is the orange one. Orange kantharis are what? Kantharis. What is the orange kanthari? The social entrepreneurs. The one that's not reacting is Bosede. Bosede, I would say, is an orange kanthari. Bosede is going to empower women, and she's going to do that by let them work or give them opportunities in the construction. And that's also business. So using business tools for change, empowering women, all combined forms orange kantharis. Then we have the red kantharis. The red kantharis are the extremely spicy ones. All right? And these are the advocates. Now, today we have Ife speaking. Where's Ife? She's in the green room. All right, so Ife will be speaking, and Ife is a person that is affected by albinism, or she has albinism, and she's going to go and fight for the rights of people with albinism. So people that have been affected themselves by a certain issue, and they are going to address that particular issue. And it's very strong because it's a change from within. They can say, we, people with albinism, should not be discriminated. Now, the last one, the purple kanthari. So in nature, all these colors exist. Okay, so now the purple kanthari, they're already like mumbling here. So here's a purple kanthari dressed in purple. Srishti, right? And for example, we have Anant, yeah, today. And we got Sherlene as well, who use art to make a difference. So an art can be in film, it can be in poetry, it can be in design, it can be music, it can be anything basically that uses the arts to make, to create not just awareness, but also to bring about change. Now the last thing I want to say before I hand over to you is that awareness, you hear a lot about creating awareness, mindset shifts, paradigm shifts, and my personal opinion is that all of that does not matter as long as nobody is doing something, right? We can have all the mindset shift in the world we can create, but if it is not followed with action, it's useless. So, and this is, I think, where kantharis play a leading role, is to not just talk, but walk the talk and actually implement, into daily life, into daily society, the change that they want to see. And luckily we have, as you said, after today, 280 kantharis in 55 countries. All right? I wish you all a fantastic day. The viewers back home, a great experience, and all the best.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much.
Priya, what color kanthari do you think you represent?
I'm a good mix of an artist and an advocate.
So a little bit purple and red,
purple
yeah?
And a little bit red.
I think, I'm
what I
more
am.
purple. I also feel I'm also a little bit of red.
Yeah.
So yes, so we have different color of kanthari presenting their fiery speeches today. But before that, are we introducing our panel member?
That's right.
Yeah.
So today we have our online panelist as Abhijit Sinha. Welcome, Abhijit. He's the founder
Welcome,
of
Abhijit.
Project DEFY and a 2015 Kanthari graduate. A big applause to you, Abhijit. Project DEFY enables learners all around the world to take charge of their own learning and design their own lives by creating self-learning spaces called nooks within marginalized communities across Asia and Africa. Once again,
Welcome you, Abhijit.
we have our very own Karthikeyan Ganeshan here.
Welcome.
A psychologist with 12 plus years dedicated to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Founded the Srishti Foundation in 2013. Recognizing the challenges faced by this marginalized group, he purchased 10 acres, creating the transformative Srishti Village, an eco-friendly haven managed by community members with diverse abilities. Srishti pioneers projects like Srishti Special School and Mobile Therapy, impacting 300 plus individuals. A Kanthari Alumni, Acumen Fellow, and Teach for India ex-fellow. Karthik actively shapes an inclusive future, striving to establish the Srishti Fellowship for Leadership Development in the disability sector. Karthik, we welcome you.
Welcome you, Karthik. His friends, he runs a project of my name. And we have the same batch, yeah, okay.
Akina Mohan VK, we welcome you, Akina, founder of Alamo and co-founder of Fireflies, a 2021 Kanthari alumni. This environmental enthusiast focuses on instilling environmental responsibility in children through alternative learning practices. Alamo, a Kerala-based non-profit, spearheads environment and education projects aiming to mobilize communities for climate action. Concentrating on a tribal community in Wayanad, Alamo empowers children to influence elders to act responsibly towards the environment. With activity-based camps for children, Alamo's impact is expanding beyond Wayanad, reaching more communities in Kerala. Passionate about cultivating eco-conscious leaders, Akina actively contributes to a sustainable and responsible future through innovative learning approaches. We
Welcome you, Akina.
Maybe it's time that we talk about the format of this event as well, Srishti?
Absolutely. I think the audience who are with us since yesterday already knows about it, but in case, I'm sure there are new audiences as well. So each speakers we have 8 speakers today, so each speakers are getting 10 minutes to present their dream speech, which will be followed up by 10 minutes question and answer. In order to keep us on time, we have our timekeeper. Can we hear from you? Yes, that keeps us all, every one of us on time. So you will hear in the beginning of the speech that bell, that means the speaker is starting. And at the 10th minute, it's notified again with that another ding sound. And after the end of the question answer, you hear it again. That means that the time for the speaker is over and it's time for the next one.
And also to have a smooth running of the event, we would request you all to keep your mobile phones on flight mode or on silent, please. And also do not interfere with the recordings. As if you walk in and walk out, it will disturb with the recordings. As far as pictures are concerned, we have our in-house photographer taking all the pictures and they will all be shared online. And of course, there will be a 30-minute break in between, right?
Yes. And we expect everyone to please be 5 minutes before and be seated so that we could start everything absolutely on time.
That's
and
right.
also, but in between, of course, you might need to use the restroom. We have very eco-friendly toilets in the academic block here, just on the right hand of the stage. But we just request everyone, especially also the gentleman, to sit down for both number 1 and number 2 to keep our eco-friendly toilets eco-friendly.
And I have just one slight request to all of you. If you could, it's also to support our speakers, right? We need to give them the energy and the spirit going on. So kindly, please come forward as much as possible and do not leave any empty chairs in the front, so when they look at you, like when I'm standing here, and the first thing is I notice the empty chairs, and that doesn't give me the energy as much as I want to.
Yes, everyone,
So
please come forward. And
yes.
by the time, I just want to give a small background of our speakers, Priya.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, most of our speakers are non-native English speaker, and for most of them, it's even their very first time to come on the stage and present about their dream speech. But the problem that they are going to address today are the problem most of them have overcome in their life.
That's right. So please, let's all keep that in mind as far as the talk is concerned. And since we have 5 minutes left, and before we introduce our first speaker, since we have some time left, could we have Karthik and Akina just talk a few words about your experience of Kanthari? Would you mind? Just keeping the time in mind, yeah? I will stop you at 11:29.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Priya. So it's like back to home. That's what I feel here today. In 2012, the experience I had gone through, I see that people who are presenting here having the same kind of experience, same kind of motivation and inspiration. after listening yesterday, it was so inspiring, mind-blowing actually with all your ideas and your commitment. And every time when I meet Kantharis, I always say one thing. Here, all your battery fully charged. Once you back to your home, it slowly get drained. Before your battery get fully drained, start your project. Thank you.
Thank you, Karthik. That was really inspiring.
Hi, all. Taking Karthik's word, for me also it's like coming back to my home. I was in 2021, so I was a participant, and last year I was there as a timekeeper. For now, I am getting promoted to the panelist. And to the participants, keep up the energy, same like him. Start your project. If you ever feel like losing your energy, just connect with your fellow, and you will get the energy back again.
Yeah, and also to understand that it's not just a dream. Kanthari Talk is not just a talk. We will absolutely be seeing short movies of our Kanthari graduates who have actually already implemented the project in the community and have been impacting the life of thousands.
That's right. And thank you so much, all of you. And shall we move on to our first speaker? Let's have
I
a quick
think it's
introduction.
time to invite our
Yes,
very
the
first speaker
speaker.
of day
So-
2 of Kanthari Talks 2023.
That's right. And you need to get inspired as we introduce our next speaker. She's Sara, straight from the vibrant streets of Mumbai, India. She's got a mission that's all about kids, empowering them and making them aware about how to safeguard themselves with confidence.
So let's put our hands together to invite Sara from Mumbai.
Just coming in, 4-year-old child raped in Rajasthan. Sub-inspector arrested.
5-year-old girl who was raped and then brutally murdered in Kochi.
A student of class 8 of a government school in Delhi, she was raped while she was sleeping on the terrace of a house by her paternal cousin. She was raped again by her cousin's husband in a few weeks.
Minor who has been molested and murdered near Mumbai.
An 8-month-old baby girl allegedly raped by her own cousin, 27-year-old cousin, in Delhi's Shalimar Bagh area.
In UP, an 18-year-old was forced to film her rape to produce evidence against her own father, who has been sexually molesting her for the last 4 years. When her mother did not believe her, the teen asked a friend to film the incident.
The clippings that you saw is just the tip of the iceberg. Do you know, as per the National Crime Record Bureau 2021, every 10 minutes a child gets sexually abused somewhere in India, which means 148 children every day. And these are just the cases which have been reported. However, a huge number of cases goes unreported and unnoticed. I remember my cousin brother telling my little niece to kiss him on his cheeks. There is nothing wrong in this, but I saw her being uncomfortable and hesitant to say no. Her mother joined in the conversation. Come on, do it, he is your uncle. I tried to defend her. She has her boundaries, and what about her consent? He brushed me off by saying, keep your social work to yourself. And this took me back to my childhood, where I was helpless and scared in front of my elders. My mother, who is a single parent, did everything in her power to take care of me. She was my father, brother, sister, and a friend to me. But she was also trapped in a culture where she believed that elders are always right. And where did this conditioning took me? I fell into one swamp after another. When I was 8, a neighboring uncle started coming to our house. He played with me, brought snacks, and also said, I am like his daughter and a princess to him. He gained my and my mother's trust. He played a game with me where initially he touched me in a normal way, and later his touches became intimate. I was just 10 when this game turned into rape. And he just did not stop there. Whenever possible, he regularly raped me until the age of 15 years. I didn't have courage to say him no, so I kept on running from him till the age of 22. I felt guilty, dirty, isolated, and worse, I saw myself as a victim. After completing my master's in social work, I did a personal transformative program where the leader said 4 words which got stuck in my mind. It's not your fault. It took time for me to translate it to my situation, but the question started running in my mind. Was I not guilty despite I was not able to say him no? Was it not my fault that he kept on raping me for so many years? And was it not my fault that I was not able to take help of my adults? And the answer to all this question was no. It's not my fault. He is the perpetrator, and the culture has forced me to be obedient towards my elders, even when they are wrong. And where it has taken me. After this, I immediately called my mother and told her everything about it for the first time. Of course, she was shocked. Why didn't you tell me at that time? I could have helped you. I could have protected you. Well, back then, I didn't knew he committed a crime. After this, I started working with Arpan NGO for preventing child sexual abuse. As a trainer and a counselor, I met various children who were going to similar incident, but were hesitant to talk about it. Simultaneously, I started sharing with my family and friends. As I opened up, they also started opening about it. We all know child sexual abuse has a long-term impact. Guilt, shame, self-blaming, doubt, trust issues on people, and the list goes on. I understood. As a child, we all need someone who can aware us about our personal safety, about our personal boundaries, about safe and unsafe behavior, about our private body parts, and most importantly, tell us that it's okay to say no. Even if they are our elders, even if they are in authority, no one is allowed to break our personal boundaries. And that's what led me to found Mukti. Mukti means freedom. And we envision a world where children are free from being sexually abused, where they are safe and growing in a nurturing environment. Currently at Mukti, we have 2 initiatives. First initiative, Beacon of Safety, which has 4 stages. In stage 1, children will learn how to express themselves freely, their thoughts, their emotions. In stage 2, children will learn about their personal safety, about their private body parts, their boundaries, safe and unsafe behavior of others, and most importantly, identify list of adults who will help them to be safe. Stage 3, where children will learn how to protect themselves by expressing in an assertive way, by self-defensing, and also by taking help of their trusted adult. Stage 4, caregivers who are initially identified by the children itself, they will learn about sexual abuse. They will learn about its prevention method. And most importantly, they will learn about how to create a safe and nurturing environment where a child is able to express anything and everything that they don't like, that they like, anything. And all these stages, they will be learning through games, storytelling, and activities. Our second initiative, Catalyst of Change. Here, we are majorly focusing on training stakeholders, like teachers, community leaders, social workers, various NGOs, so that they can implement our 4-stage model in their respective localities. after our training, we see that parents and elders, they are creating an environment where children are safe and are in nurturing environment where they are expressing their thoughts freely. And children, they are being assertive. They are able to say no, even anyone who is standing in front of them. And children are taking care of their own and others' safety. When I was a child, no one was there to tell me about the safe and unsafe behavior of others towards me, or how I could have protected myself. But after the transformative training, I regained my lost confidence. Do you remember the uncle from whom I was running away from? I confronted him for his action and said him, "Stop. You cannot do this with me anymore." And now he runs away from me. Unfortunately, I woke up too late. But through Muklasi, we want to aware children at very early stage to prevent such kind of experiences. Act now, before it's too late. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really, thank you. So we have 10 minutes, dear panelists, and we can start with you, Karthik.
Thank you, Sara. It's really inspiring to hearing your story. I understand the problem is deeply rooted, and so when you start to implement your project, Muklasi, what are the challenges you may anticipate?
So one challenge which I can see is parents or the elders, they might take time to adopt where they are able to take no from the children. Because in our Indian culture, it's like, oh, bachcho ki baat, like who listens to the child? And that to the small one, no. So I see that will be one difficulty to, like a challenge to make them understand. Many parents might, but there might be some parents who might be taking time to adopt this.
So what are the strategy to overcome these challenges?
Strategy to overcome is like to make them understand the problem from where it is coming. And I have already started doing that with my family members because they believe that, this is out of love, right? But then what about their consent? And I started doing this with my jiju, my didis, my brothers already. And most probably 5 days prior, I did it with my mom to make her understand that what it is about. So I think making them understand empathy will, make this issue more like where the parents can understand this issue.
Okay. And the issue is so big. It is not only in Mumbai or the region or in your family, but it's happening everywhere, every part of India. Do you have any plan to scale up or expand to reach more?
Yes. So that's what my second program, Catalyst of Change. I feel that only my organization cannot reach at so much of level, and it's just not in India, but the entire part of the world. We are sitting over here from 11 countries, and I think half or few of them have definitely expressed that they had faced the abuse. So it's not there. So we are looking at that how the stakeholders can implement this model in their own respective localities. So I look after, creating leaders who can take this project ahead.
Thank you, Sara. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sara. It was an energetic performance.
Thank you.
So there are so many laws in India regarding child protection and against this. So how you gonna include this legal part in your program?
Yeah, so after few years, I see that there are 2 more aspects I'm going to include. One is counseling, and another is where we will also have a team of advocates who will be, helping the like the child, to go through the cases. Because I was just speaking yesterday with a lawyer, and he was telling that there is only a prosecutor lawyer who handles this case, and they just finish it in 5 minutes. The child, the parents, they do not know anything about it. So in future, I see that I work with advocate where the child or the parents, they know about that, what is the case proceeding about, how much time it will take, what help a child will get. So I see that this in my project happening in future.
Can we move on to Abhijit right now?
Thank you so much. Really, thank you for sharing your story and for talking about your project. It's really nice to hear what you're planning to do. I'm curious about the first part of your project that you mentioned, where you will enable children express themselves. Usually this requires creating a safe space or a safe environment where children feel. My question is, how will you create this safe? How will you create this safe environment for children?
Okay, I got your question. That initially, by making them understand that they are first is that they are special and unique, and their opinions matter to us. That will be created in the session itself when the first initial 2 sessions will be taken. Through games, activities, I think children love games and activity. And if they understand that, okay, this is the place where I can express, I can be myself, there is nothing wrong and right answer in this. And even I see that after, when they go from 1 session to 2nd session, they will have that reflections phase also, where they will reflect that in 1 session, 1st session, what I learned, and in 2nd session, what I have implemented from the 1st session in my life. And I think when that space is created, when there is nothing wrong or right, where they are accepted, the environment, I think that is when they will start opening up and they will start expressing themselves.
Any more
Thank you.
questions? Any more questions, Abhijit? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you have time. You can ask one more question.
One more question. It's slightly connected to what Kadrik was asking. I mean, we live in a country where our parents are in constant denial of several things when it comes to children, right? So, and in this case, you'd have to talk to parents and ask them to let their children come to your workshops, to your sessions. And this is also the same, parents are choosing between a list of priorities for their kids to attend. So it is swimming class, and then there is tuition classes, and then there is Olympiad classes, and then somewhere you've tried to find priority or some space in that list. How will you convince the same parents who don't want to talk to their children about sexual health or any of these topics or around abuse? How will you convince them that this is important and this takes priority over swimming classes and math Olympiads? Thank you.
Yeah, so I see that, so yeah, definitely this is one of the challenge, but I see that we will have to create an emergency. Like whenever there is an accident, people just run through it. But they don't think that, and in our Indian culture, that's the problem that, oh, child sexual abuse, it will not happen with my child. But the data says something else. So we'll have to create emergency and urgency about this and make them understand that this topic is important more than any other thing. Because they don't know, right? In the swimming classes, in the cycling class, the child might getting sexually abused. And I will go through teachers, I will go through the major stakeholders who can, make impact, whose word matter in the community. I will go through them at initial level, but later on I see that once we have just taken the flight, then I see that the parents, teachers, they coming to us that, this is what important, this is what is important for my child. Yes.
Sara,
yes.
What will you do if the parents are the ones to abuse the children? What will be the process for that?
So the first process will be to identify one trusted adult except their parents who can support the child to be safe immediately. And then by taking the help of that, if they and the child wants to go for a legal case, and then supporting in that. And before that, to understand that what kind of support a child needs. Because the legal support can help child, but does child want something else? And if one parent is making them unsafe, we can take help of another parent also. And if not they, we can take help of legal system.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Any more questions for the panelists? You have you have time. You have 3 minutes left.
So, Sara, what will be the first focus of age group? Because 0 to 8 comes under child. Like, there's no matter of the age for the child abuse also. So, what will be the first focus? And if your program is like the age group, like so many age groups, so what will be your focus on there?
Yeah, so initially the focus is on 6 to 16 years, and the curriculum will be age-wise, age appropriate.
Thank you so much, Sara.
Thank
Let's
you.
give her a big round of applause. Next, we would like to show you a short video from a realized project of a Kanthari graduate, and he is Stephen from Kenya. Do you remember?
Oh yeah,
Stephen,
so
Srishti?
he was the one who actually sold his cow to get here.
Oh my
Now
God.
let's see what he did after returning back from here.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So let's watch a short film.
My name is Steve Onyang from Kenya. We live near the Great Lake Victoria, a very beautiful lake, and surrounding it are very many hills and very many valleys. The atmosphere is very good. The latest government statistics says that where I stay, out of every 5 people you meet, one of them is HIV positive. The children are so many who have been left as total orphans. The parents died. And once that happens to children, they will never be the same. I had an elder brother, the eldest, the firstborn in our family. This brother of mine fell down sick with HIV and AIDS. The first to die was his son. Then the wife died, and then the brother himself died, leaving us with the 2 girls. So whenever I saw the other orphans elsewhere, it was ever reminding me of how my brother died and how we suffered because of that. This was the beginning of Hope Restoration Center. And in 2011, we registered it as a community-based organization. We take the children through transformational activities. First of all, make them relax completely. To kill that kind of self-internalized stigma in them. Make them feel as if we are on the same level ground. Some of the activities that we do are personal storytelling. These children tell us their own stories. When they tell us these stories, we get carried away at times. And it might not be easy for them also to tell these stories, because you might see them, some of them, almost shedding tears. But we encourage them on in front of their peers. It is a transformational change in the child, and it's a transformational change to the society or the guardians of these children. You see them becoming more proactive in what they want to do, and also they become self-confident.
I'm Rosemary Akini. I'm a social worker in Hope Restoration Center. The children, most of them didn't see their mothers. I always tell them I'm your mom. Whenever you have problems, you bring, I solve. So they feel good.
We make them feel that somebody is giving them love and attention, which has been lacking for a long time. We started our school in the year 2011, and 10 years later, we have 284 students and a team of 19 highly self-motivated people running the school. Next year, we'll add one more class, and then we have all primary classes filled.
Okay. Before we move on to the next speaker, I just want to make a kind request. As I just mentioned in the beginning, talking on the phone or any kind of extra noises would interfere with the recording. So please kindly refrain from using the phone while you're in the hallway. Thank you so much. Srishti.
Yes?
Have you ever been bullied as a child?
As a child? Not really. As a child, I was very pampered, and no, I didn't really experience that, but I'm sure to experience that as a child should be tough.
I know. Childhood bullying is like the worst encounter, right? Anybody can have.
Yeah. So I think our next speaker is going to shed light on this and coming up with her creative solution. So may we please invite Ife from Nigeria.
Hey, see ghosts! Don't move close to her.
Who is this? Ebora lele yo.
Wafi, owó ti dé.
Oh, aye gune ka biona de pa. Ha.
Ọmọ ṣàwọn bó ṣe rí. Wafi.
Oh, who is this?
Stop!
Ghosts, bush spirits, money rituals. These are the abusive names people called me while growing up as a child. Whenever my mother saw me outside, she would drag me into the house with tears in her eyes. I've told you not to go out. Stop degrading me. No one wants you out there. Many times, I want to play with other children. Whenever they see me coming, they will be scared and run away. Many parents will tell their children not to play with me so that they will not contact disease from me. Well, that was my life. I don't know any other life living beyond albinism. And back then, I thought I had a good life. I don't know that keeping me away from other children was wrong. My mother did this out of love. Sometimes I like to go out to play with other children, but I couldn't. One day, I had an opportunity to attend a program where I met other people with albinism. It was in this meeting I know that albinism is not a disease. It's just a genetic condition that causes lack of melanin in the skin, eyes, and the hair. And of course, it is not contagious. Many of us, we have low vision. And all of us, our skin is sensitive to the sun, which have to be protected and cared for starting from early stage of our life. For example, Kolade, a 12-year-old boy, he lives with his grandmother, who has no knowledge about the condition. She makes him to work under the hot sun to sell pepper and chili, which later caused him to have severe sunburn that leads to skin cancer. In Nigeria, we have a number of stereotypes. Giving birth to a child with albinism seems to bring bad luck to the family. Many people will even see the child as an horrible species. in East and South Africa, they believe that our body parts can be used for money rituals. Believing in all these stereotypes leads to shame that make many parents to abandon their children or exclude them from social activities. Majority of us that live in society where all of them are dark in complexion, we face extreme discrimination and exclusion. For over 20 years of my life, I thought I was alone until I heard the story of Rachel. Due to her low vision, she had to go to the blackboard, front and back, to copy her notes. This is the only way she could see. Her teacher don't understand her. Even her peers will laugh at her. You know what? One day, she lost interest in education. Just like her, I also faced all these challenges throughout my life and school time. Remembering all this and see other children facing all these challenges due to their physical appearance, this made me to start my organization called Erola. In Erola, we imagine a world where children become advocates for people with albinism to ensure equal opportunity and to fulfill life. To achieve our vision, we have designed a three-circular approach that has 3 circles. In the innermost circle, we will select schools where teachers, students are willing to challenge the stereotypes surrounding albinism. Through engaging workshops, we will use game, storytelling, and other engaging activities to let the children to know what albinism is all about, and for them to know how to handle the consequences it brings. Our aim is to empower these children to become mentors and advocates. Then we move to the middle circle. Here we will extend our reach to wider community. We will organize camp that will bring together community leaders, religious leaders, medical practitioners, and family members of people with albinism. Here, the newly created advocates from inner circle. We use basic activities to spread awareness and to change mindsets. Now, we will move to outer circle. Here, we will go bigger league to involve celebrities, musicians, actors, to become ambassadors of change for people with albinism. Through our initiative, we envision these changes. A society that was ignorant now understands us. Also, children with albinism confidently integrate themselves into society. A journalist, Vicky Entertainment, she writes about the killing of people with albinism in Tanzania. She said, and I love to quote it, albinism is not a reason to discriminate. It is a reason to celebrate diversity. Thank you.
We have 10 minutes for Q&A. Shall we start with Abhijit?
Hi, thank you so much for that wonderful speech. Well, I think albinism and the efforts to solve the problem of discrimination and much more than that has been a constant effort in Africa for the longest time, as far as I can tell. My question to you is that so far I have seen several programs that go into schools and try to change mindsets. What are you going to be doing differently from many NGOs that are going into schools trying to get attention of children, trying to tell them, to change how they perceive one thing or another. What are you going to do differently that will actually succeed, will actually make a difference and not just become yet another, small time spent in the week where children go through something and then forget about it by the end of the weekend?
Some.
Yeah, that's my.
So far, the organization I know is in Nigeria, they create awareness, and I'm part of their beneficiary to be here. And now, what we want to do is to start from grassroots. They are creating awareness for old people, for elderly people to know about albinism, this and that. And what we want to do, we want children to stand on their own, to be able to say, this is what I want. This is how I can live. Not like people will tell them to go in there due to their physical appearance. They should have confidence in themselves, start from childhood, and also to know how to protect themselves. It's not, for example, I know how to, okay, now I should wear long sleeve, use umbrella for over 20 years of my life. I don't know that this is what to do. But these children will know, will be aware all this, start from their childhood, and also their peers. Not only them, their peers and their parents will know of this. So this will help them in their future.
Thank you. That's the only question I have for now. Maybe if there's time, I'll ask more later on. Thanks.
Thank you, Abhijit. Over to you.
Thank you, Gifai. That was a nice speech. So, when you were telling about your dream project, you were mentioning so much programs for the albinism, the people with, or the children with albinism to integrate themselves. So, do you plan any program for others who are not having albinism? Because it's also one point, right? Because when you are trying to integrate yourself, there is a community who are not ready to accept. So, do you have any plan for that, maybe in future as well?
Yes, that will be in a middle circle. In the middle circle, we are going to spread to the wider community, that we invite people that really need this, because we realize that if a child with albinism don't accept at home, it leads to different problems for them. So we are going to do this awareness through children, for children to talk by themselves. And people will see that, okay, for children to say this is what they want, to people with, in the community and medical practitioners and other people, this is a way of creating awareness for them. Yes, we have a program for that.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation. And I see that after reading your profile, the problem is huge. And do you have, I know it's difficult to do all the work alone, and you need partners. Do you have any plan to collaborate, or do you have any partners, are planning to partnering with someone?
Yes, we are hoping for partnership. So far, we see people that, organizations that their vision and mission is aligned to what we want to do. We are ready to partner.
And also, I'm just thinking that the problem is deeply rooted. Even you mentioned in your speech about your own mother. And do you have any plan to collaborate or partnering with the parents also? If yes, how?
Yes, we are going to partner with parents when we invite them, and we invite them for awareness workshop. Through that, we are going to collaborate with parents that have resources that can benefit both of us to create more awareness, and for them to even become ambassador to speak about, okay, I have a child with albinism, this and that. This will encourage, which is to encourage other parents to know that, okay, it's acceptance that is very important.
And I have one more question. You mentioned in your profile about you are creating a comic books or the movies which creating awareness, right?
Yes.
Can you please explain how these books or comics that helps to create awareness are breaking those barriers?
Because children love to see comic book, like through that when we, it's just a way of bringing back to, like bringing to their level, children's level to see. And when they are seeing it, seeing the picture, reading about it, so when something happens outside, they can easily refer to the comic book to, it's a way of awareness, I mean, to give them knowledge, like for them to know about albinism. So that is that.
Sorry, as a follow-up question, this comics books and then awareness is for the children with albinism or for anyone?
It's for everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Abhijit, do you have any more questions? We have exactly 3 more minutes, so you have time to ask.
Just one more question.
Sure.
You mentioned role models and celebrities. I was curious, how do you want to engage them, and what conversation does that build?
Please repeat.
Could you repeat the question, Abhijit?
Yeah, I said that you had mentioned at some point that in the outermost circle you will have role models and celebrities who you will engage with. So I just was very curious as to how, what kind of an engagement would that look like? What will it lead to? And what conversations are you trying to build with that?
Okay, so to that, we know that, especially in movie industry, whatsoever film they produce, people easily believe in it. Like calling people with albinism ghosts is because there's a lot of movies that they have done that they use people with albinism for ghosts. So that's make the people believe that, oh, people with albinism are ghosts. So we want to use this means for them to become ambassadors. So they can write scripts that say positive things about people with albinism. And this will go viral than, we believe that it will go viral to change people's mindsets.
Thank you so much.
Big round of applause to Faye.
We had a participant from 2011. His name is Nicholas, and he was visually impaired. His dream then was to start a school for children with disabled children and visually impaired. So let's have a look at his project right now for 5 minutes.
You are very much welcome to our house. Okay, this is my dear wife, Srishti. We met in 2012 when I was starting my project. From my home to the school is about 1 hour through shortcuts. You can walk and walk. My name is Nicholas Kimoyo. I was brought up in a rural place. I attended a local school that was forced to repeat a class because I have a visual problem. That mentality of assuming that when you come from a poor background, you are disabled, the community tells you that you are a failure. So I said, no, let me bring the change. I applied for a leadership course to go to Kanthari in Kerala, India. We began the Victor's Academy in 2012 with 5 children. The reason why we chose this name is to transform the children who are perceived by the community to be failures, to being victors in spite of any limiting factor.
My name is Yokomotinda. I am a boy. I am in class 1.
Due to family problems, Kyoko Motinda was really in a difficult circumstance. What we did, we talked to the father, let him make the child comfortable, let him give the child the best environment.
Napenda somo la science.
From the last assessment we did, Kyoko Motinda scooped the first position, is happy.
My name is Donge Motuku. I am a girl. I love storybook English. My name is Mandra Mena. I love reading.
Mudeu Motoki, she's a girl. 7 years old. The left part of her body is weak. She just speaks very, very softly, and she has problem in manipulating objects. Through the Victors Academy, the child has been able to interact with children. Though not perfectly, but the child has really improved. We are looking forward to giving the child physiotherapy so that our left side can really be strengthened.
Victor's Academy's vision is of quality education. We cater for total development of the child, despite the difficulties, despite the background.
Kids are accessing well and they are doing well. Yeah, and their performance, as we rate to other schools, they are the best. Since my son joined Victor's Academy, last exam which they did, he had 96%. You know, to talk Swahili and a little English.
In 2014, as we speak now, we have 33 children. I'm very motivated to make an impact in their lives.
Dance, 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 jump, 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 sit, 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 stand, 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 stand.
Srishti?
Yeah?
Do you remember the food yesterday we had after the talks?
Oh, the dinner?
Yes, it was so
It's a
yummy, wasn't
yeah.
it? And I really wonder what we have today for lunch.
For lunch? You're hungry already?
I feel like I want to have soups and biryanis and apple pies and apple tarts. And
Oh my God.
know,
What happened to your taste bud? It seems you want to eat everything.
When it comes to food, I take it very seriously, Srishti.
Okay.
And so does our next speaker. Let's give a big round of applause to
Nelson
Camayo from Malawi.
Malawi.
The sound of a bell excites children for two reasons. One is the end of a school day. Two, when it's lunchtime. My experience for lunch was a little bit different. As other children were excited, opening their lunch boxes, and the sweet aroma was filling up the air, I reached out from a plastic bag, just hoping for a miracle. But all I could find were two old books. My stomach grumbled, but all I could do was swallow my saliva. Now, you might be looking at me up and down and asking yourself, come on, is he the real guy he's talking about? I guess I'm one of the luckiest. With a huge gap between me and my siblings managed to secure a job. They took me under their wings, fed me good food, and life became better. Later, I developed an interest in photography and videography. I've worked with various organizations with deals with children, especially in the issue of early child marriages and school dropout. We did so many interviews with a lot of children, and I developed an interest. Then I dug deeper. Guess what I found? Hundreds and thousands of children in Malawi are facing this very same problem of hunger I faced as a child. Hunger is a major issue in Malawi, with 4 out of 10 children suffering from malnutrition. Malnutrition simply refers to the imbalance of nutrients needed for your body to function and the nutrients it gets. When you talk about malnutrition, many of you, you've got this picture of a child with thin legs, thin arms, this big swollen belly. That's exactly the problem in Malawi. Of course, poverty is the major contributor to this, with over 50% of the population living in the rural areas and living in poverty. And many of the families, they rely on farming as the source of their livelihood. But their harvests, they're not even enough to feed the family for the whole year, just because of the soil degradation, which is caused by the use of chemicals. To make matters worse, there are floods which happen almost each and every year from December to March, posing risk to food security. Despite numerous efforts which have been done by various organizations, or even World Health Organization spends about $1.2 billion each and every year to issues related to nutrition. But the problem of malnutrition still persists. So what's the problem here? Many of these organizations, they address the parents. But I believe children have got the power to change the situation. To ensure good health and education of the children, I founded Tanzi 265. Tanzi means health. 265 is the country code of Malawi. That's not only the meaning. 2 are the 2 forms of food, raw or cooked. 6 are the 6 nutrients needed for your body. And 5 are the 5 tastes. Come on, let me introduce you to the Tanzi 265 program. The program is divided into 5 phases, which are derived from the 5 tastes. Phase 1, beta. Beta acts as a defensive mechanism to prevent from toxic food. In this phase, children, they will learn to identify and to avoid harmful practices of farming and nutrition. Phase 2, sour. Just like a sharp and tangy and exciting sensation of a sour taste. In this phase, the children, they'll get their hands dirty, they'll be excited to be introduced to the world of agriculture, and they'll learn different techniques of farming. Phase 3, salty. You see, salt is used as an enhancer to bring out the flavor of foods. In this phase, they will learn about composting, mulching, which brings the nutrients of the soil. Phase 4, umami. Umami have got a mild and savory, lingering taste. In this phase, the children, they will learn harvesting and preserving of the food, which does not only have the everlasting impact on their health, but also to the food security. Phase 5, sweet. Reward is sweet, but not without sweat. For the past 4 months, the children have been learning about food literacy and sustainable farming in a more interactive, through games and different activities. It will be time for them to exhibit and show the community and their friends what they've learned at Tanzi 265. So can you just imagine, just from afar, you hear a hooking sound, and through the dust, there's this colorful, beautiful van coming in. As it approaches much more closer, on top, you could see a garden, a mobile garden on top of the roof of the garden, of the van. On top there'll be herbs, vegetables. As the van reaches the community, and the children, they start gathering, and the community members, they're gathering. And guess what? On the van, our little chefs, neatly dressed, they'll come out. As they open the van, you could see tiny little stoves, pots, and they'll start preparing a meal for the community and the friends, just to show them the knowledge they've learned at Tanzi 265. Come on. Why should we not talk about it? Let's bring all these tastes together. Because at Tanzi 265, we believe each bite of food you take tells a story. Here, we've got our macaroni, which gives us carbohydrates for the energy to work hard and play hard. What about we take our juicy savory chicken for the proteins to feed and to build our muscles? What about our crunchy carrots for vitamin A, for the health of the skin and the eyes? We all need a good digestive system, right? Yes. Our banana would do the trick with its components of fiber. We need strong bones, vitamin D. A wholesome egg would do the trick. Let's not forget to keep the doctor away by adding apples. Yeah. So now, let's sprinkle some salt to enhance the flavor. Lastly, never forget your omega-3 for a sharp mind. A scoop of mayo would do the trick. It's lunchtime. Now I'm excited. At Tanzi 265, we create a future where every child has the knowledge and ability to eat healthy. Thank you.
We are the lucky ones. I might get a share, but sorry, Abhijit, you can only keep watching from there. So we give you a chance to ask you a question maybe first. That's the least we can do.
I'll send my address. But anyway, so much. This was a very nice presentation. Yeah, there is a lot to think about here. I'll start off with one question, I think, which is that it's a lovely idea to introduce children to farming, to agriculture, or growing their own food. However, it is also true that at the same time, farming and agriculture and growing food is really looked down upon. It is not considered an aspirational thing. When I'm here, right now I'm in Zimbabwe, and I hear all the time, for example, that neither the children nor the parents want anybody to do farming anymore. They see that as a waste of time for their children to engage in. How will you challenge this sort of mindset that may be quite prevalent, in the communities you want to work in, and make growing food not seem like a waste of time, but actually feel like something aspirational, not just from a feeding perspective, but also from the perspective of maybe potentially livelihood in the future?
Okay. Firstly, it's quite true. Many of the families and many of the people, especially in Africa, the southern region, they now see farming as something which does not have value or have so much input into it because of the soil degradation. So every time they plow their harvest, they get a little, just because of the soil degradation. So now it will have a big challenge for us to start from afresh, so that we should teach them how they can do and harvest more, and how it is important to have food in you. Because most of the times nowadays, the children, if you ask them, where does your food come from? They'll definitely tell you from the shop. But now, we should know that the importance of them to know where their food comes from, and how is it important for them to grow for themselves, and the dangers they meet if they keep on buying food which comes from outside, which have got a lot of chemicals. So through this sensitization, which we will do in different communities, this will help us to gain more confidence into the villages and into the community itself, so that the parents and the children will start loving farming and to start to have something productive about their life through farming.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Karthik.
Thank you. I really enjoyed with your mobile track with all the nutrients carried. My question is, if I understood properly, you are carrying all the tools and everything in your van, including the nutrients. But how this knowledge sustain if the children who learn those skills and then it's easily they got forgot. Actually, they may not practice it. But do you have any idea, whatever the skills you are imparting to those children, how this knowledge can be sustained and they keep on practicing it?
Okay, so the good thing in our phase 1, in the bitter, in phase 2, in the sour, they will be introduced to form their kitchen garden at home. And we'll give them a pack so that they should start their kitchen garden. And soon after the program, we have 2 months of monitoring and evaluation, which will be following up with the children that they're still following their kitchen garden. And we're not going to leave them here, but we have a long term with them, with the community as well, so that we should know that they should keep on practicing and they're even passing on the knowledge to other children, families, and siblings as well.
And also I see that you mentioned in your speech, there is always some flood and lands are not fertile and it is difficult to do the farming. And now you are introducing kitchen garden. There is some kind of contradict. And how are you going to address the environment challenge, or are you going to address the malnutrition?
We're going to address the malnutrition. So malnutrition simply means there's a lack of nutrients which are needed for your body to function. So those nutrients, they actually come from food. Food comes from the agriculture part. So we're going to start from the ground where the food is coming from. So we're going to start addressing the problem in the farm exactly, so that they should have enough food, enough nutrients to feed their families or even their relatives as well.
But how you are going to address with the environment, like your soil is not fertile right now?
Okay, about the soil degradation, right? If I get your question right. Okay, for the soil degradation, we're going to start by using the compost manure. We're going to start to rejuvenate the soil at first by introducing the use of manure and also the mulching, so that we should preserve the water. And we're going to have a watershed management so that we should be able to capture some water so that we should not deplete the groundwater as well. So by doing so, each and every year, of course, it's going to take us 3 years for us to rejuvenate the soil, and the parents that should have the enough harvest, which they were having long time back. So this is our steps that we're going to be doing.
If I have still a time, just one more question.
Yes, please.
So I think it's a follow-up with the Abhijit also. I think parents and children, they are having their own vision about their future. The children having, I think, in every country, they want to be a doctor, engineer, or anything. And the parents want their children to spend their time more in school or any other special classes instead of just doing some farm work.
Mm-hmm.
And how you are going to break that barrier?
So now it's a different situation in Malawi. I myself, there was a point that I wanted to drop out school because I was hungry. So most parents in Malawi, especially in the rural areas, they prefer their children to go to work so that they should have food in their house than for them to go to school. So for us, starting introducing this, and we are also encouraging these children to keep on going to school, because our program will be done after school, so that they should learn this knowledge, they should instill this knowledge into them, but still more, they should be also going to school. So it will not be much challenge, because most of these children, they don't usually go to school. You usually find them in farms doing casual works so that they should earn a little bit of money to support their families.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All the best, yes.
Thank you, Nelson. It was an amazing speech.
Thank you.
So, which is the age group you will be starting?
I'll be starting from the age of 5 to 12 years old.
So, do you think 5-year-old is enough to do the farming and the cooking, everything? Because in the document also there was so much mentioning about the cooking part.
Yes. Okay, from the age of 5 to 8, that these children, they will learn more about the practical ways about to do that. And 5-year-old child is a good child for him or her to start learning about cooking. And this will not be just normal cooking like what we do in the kitchen. They'll learn them in a fun way. We're talking about cutting the carrots in shapes. So they will be producing enough interest into the children so that they should love it. And we're going to learn through activities like games and some phrase like, when can feed people visit me? Which would translate like, when, it will be the water which is needed. C would be carbohydrates. So and so, like feed people F for the fiber which is needed for your body. So this knowledge will instill in their minds so that when they grow up, they'll never turn away from this. We have a generation of children who knows about the food, how it's grown, how it's, where it's being grown, and the impact it does to the environment as well.
Just a follow-up question.
Yes.
So are you focusing only on the school-going children, or do you have any plan for the school dropouts?
So now our program, especially, we're going to focus on everyone, those who are going to school and those who are school dropouts. For those who are school dropouts, we're going to be encouraging them to go to school as well. And those who are still in school, we'll still be encouraging them to not drop out to school, but we should have another alternative so that, because at our farm, when they come to our farm, they'll have another meal. Because most of them, they rely on one meal per day, or some of the times they don't even have a meal even the whole day. So if they come at their farm, they'll have a meal that we're going to feed them, so that when they go home, they'll be so much interested to come again tomorrow. So I'm interested in both school dropouts and those who are still in school as well.
More interested with your project.
Yes.
I have a, are you engaging the local community's parents in this process, or just focusing only on children?
The parents, in the long run, we're going to involve the parents, especially the women, because some of the times it will not make sense when I'm hungry, you take my child, but when I go back home, I know that there is nothing which I'm going to do. But in the long run, we're going to have a cooperative of agriculture, which will take the women, we give them the seeds, we give them the seeds, a different type of variety of seeds, they'll grow as a cooperative. And as Tanzi 265, we're going to buy these seeds for them and find a market for them and sell them, so that we should empower the parents as well financially. So, and as we are starting, we're going to start with the community as well. We explain to them what we are going to do and how is it important to the village or even to the community and even to the Malawi at large as well.
Just one more question.
Sure, no problem.
Just in 5 years, how you are envisioning all your children?
In the next 5 years, I envision some community members where children are empowered and have got the knowledge and the confidence to talk about food and to know how their food is being grown, how their food has an impact to the environment, and they're able to pass on the knowledge to other children, even to the parents as well. Because most of the problem that we are having, when addressing these issues, we address the parents and we leave out the children. Children also has a voice. And children, they're the ones living in this future, and they're the ones to change it as well.
Wonderful, thank you.
How will you make sure that the children are actually allowed to cook food at home?
Okay, so there will be engagement with the parents as well. So as we do our kitchen garden, which means when we are going to visit their homes, we're going to meet the parents as well. So there will be a survey. The monitoring evaluation is not going to at the end, but it's going to be through the program as well. So as we are engaging with the parents, we'll be having our forms that will be taking the data of knowing, are they still doing the kitchen garden? Are they able to cook for them? Are you allowing them as well to cook for you a meal, maybe lunch or a dinner as well?
Thank you, Nelson. And Abhijit, do you have any more questions? We have like final few minutes also if you want to. Abhijit?
Yeah, I can ask one more question. Can you hear me? Yeah. So my question is, you seem to be having several phases in your project and quite a lot going on. Have you thought of some key partnerships that will help in achieving these goals in a very effective way?
Yes. For the first, when you go back, we're going to partner with schools, because if you go to the schools, we find children who are there, who are still going to school, and they also have another register of children who dropped out of school. So it will be easy for us to identify our beneficiaries. So if we work with schools and the communities, because if the thing is being put to the community, it will have power to go on and on and on. So our first partnership will be with the schools and the community. Then, in later future, we're going to involve also the government, because we're talking about, in the curriculum, people, they're not taught about food literacy. So now, if you are going to change the policies maybe in the near future, so that these topics should be introduced also into the mainstream of the school as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nelson. Let's give him a big round of applause. Now we are going to watch a short movie from our 2021 participant. So last year they got married as well. So Shivani is here and Nivash. So let's watch their movie and see what they are doing in their project.
Welcome to Anant Tami, a gender-free learning center. It was started to make education accessible for all children, while removing existing stereotypes from the curriculum itself. A space where children learn together without worrying about their gender identity. Children engage in theater activities where they learn to work in groups. We do various activity-based learning to create rigor in children to become active learners. An open culture enables the children to play regardless of their gender identity. We provide opportunities for children to become more outgoing and confident.
My name is Advait. In this learning center, the main basis, the theme around it is gender-free education, where most of the kids, all the kids in fact, they don't refer to each other as girls and as boys. My teammates, she had makeup, so she was putting it on herself, and I asked her, hey, could you put some on me? She's like, sure. So she had put on this blue eyeliner with wings. We had put lipstick, some blush. When I came out, I expected all the kids to like surround me and asking, what is this, laughing at me, teasing me, things like that. But none of that happened. They just looked and then they continued skating. They didn't stop. They didn't like make a big deal out of it. They didn't call the other kids to come and look, oh my God, this is weird and new, which I was very surprised about.
At Anant Tami, we envision one day all children will be the best they can be, irrespective of their gender.
As the next speaker, we have someone whose life has been shaped by a profound experience. He encountered a twist of fate by losing his sight for 2 months. And this sparkled a deep passion for him for special education. So,
let's invite Joshua on the stage,
from
please.
Nigeria.
As we all know, children are happy, exciting, exploring, and running around. And now, what is this? There's nothing wrong with the children shown in the last video. They are just blind. And that does not stop them from running around and being happy. The only problem is they are not empowered. You will be surprised to know that in Lagos, Nigeria, there is no single kindergarten for the young blind children. This means they don't have equal opportunity to develop like other sighted children. You might be surprised, why am I talking about the blind children? Why me? In 2002, I had a fatal bus accident, which caused my eyes to be blind for almost 2 months. Although it was temporary. But this gave me a glimpse into what it feels like, especially when someone loses his sight suddenly. I became dependent on everyone. I did not even know what was on my plate to eat. I needed someone to choose the color of my clothes. I could not go out on my own at this point. I was curious about how the blind in general cope with their daily activities. When I regained my sight, I changed my course of studies from medicine to special education. During my studies, I met quite a number of blind people who are doing well and saw the possibility of what they could do. This was a turning point for me because it changed my mindset from sympathy and pity to empathy, and I became passionate to empower children and youth that are blind in Lagos State. During my course of studies, that I met this number of people that are blind. After my school, I gained employment with Pacheli School for the Blind, and I was opportune to work in admission team. The experience I gained during this formed my passion and encouraged me to start free consultation service. And in this consultation service, I met quite a number of people with disability. I met quite a number of challenges faced by the blind people. One of them was Samson. When I was working in a community with a blind child, a man came to me and said, "Please come, have a look." I had a neighbor who was a single mother and had to go to work, but she had a blind child. The man had access to the room, so I followed him. When I got to the room, I was shocked with what I saw. There was Samson seated at the corner in the room. In front of him was a bowl of rice that he would eat throughout the day. Samson was unable to walk. He could only crawl. Later, I found out that there was nothing wrong with Samson. He was only blind. But he has never been trained how to walk or how to do anything for himself. Before that, when I met with the mother told me, "I tried. It's not my fault." I look around. There was no school to accept my child. And I had to fend for the family. This was one of the cases I met as a special teacher and consultant. If we don't empower the blind children in their first years, it might come with many consequences. Let me tell you some of these consequences. Number one, problem of communication. A child that's been isolated away from his peers, we find it difficult to communicate properly. In fact, some of them tend to have speech disorder. Number two, problem of mobility. A child that has not been empowered or trained how to walk in an unfamiliar environment, we find it difficult to even take a step. Imagine a child of 12 years that is still afraid of taking steps. Number three, problem of daily living skills. A child, this is very important because a child that is not trained how to cope daily will depend on people around him. I do understand the kindergarten teachers who are afraid to work with the blind children because the thought is so difficult. But in a conducive environment with committed personnel, we can make a huge difference in the life of blind children. That is why we are passionate to start Swing High. The first preschool or kindergarten for the young blind children in Lagos. Since these children lack sense of sight, our focus area is to train them to train their other senses so that they can be empowered to use their sense of touch, sense of smell, sense of hearing. And you know what? All this will be done in a fun and playful way. It will be so fun to be in our school. What will be our 4 major focus areas? Number 1, communication skills. With the use of poems, rhymes, listening comprehension, in fact, we take our children to the neighborhood to interact with other children. This will build their self-confidence to communicate properly. Number 2, mobility training. With the use of kiddie cane and with our design environments in our school, full of parkers, barrier to cross, this will train our children to walk confidently, even in an unfamiliar environment. Number 3, daily living skills. You agree with me that this is very important because children need to cope with daily living every day with little or no assistance from people around them. They need to be independent. That is why we train them how to clean themselves after the use of toilets, how to brush their teeth, how to eat properly, how to select their clothes, how to arrange their clothes, how to wash dishes. They can do it. And lastly, fine motor and gross skills. Because of our design environment full of sand, clay to mold, different animal models to touch and feel, our children will develop their finger dexterity with this. This will prepare them for braille reading and writing. All this I mentioned, will form a strong foundation for our children. In our organization, we envision an exciting preschool learning environment for the young blind children. Please, have a glimpse of this school I'm talking about. An eco-friendly environment for the young blind children full of adventurous activities. Swimming, swinging, climbing of trees, barrier to cross, playground, swimming pool, different animal models to touch and feel, and braille reading and writing. If you want the blind children to succeed in life, we need to give them a dynamic start in life. Please join me and let's make a change. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua. It was a great speech. So, when you were talking about your curriculum, so there was so much process. And in your document, you mentioned you're starting with the toddlers because it's a kindergarten, right? So, you need a great team for sure with the same vision. How are you going to find your team? Because I believe you cannot do alone, right? Because as toddlers need some people to support in the very beginning.
First of all, Swing High is our concept transformation after a very important course in Canari. This Swing High is addressing the root problem of what I've started in Lagos already. I have a team in Lagos. I have an organization running in Lagos already. So I will work with this team at first to start Swing High. They are trained, and we can do it together.
Great.
Thanks for the amazing adventure park that I could feel it, and definitely I want to send my child to your Swing High.
Thank you.
The point is, it's going to be exclusively for the blind children, or it should be inclusive? Your adventure park or Swing High?
Yeah, in the future, we consider that. But now we want to focus on empowering these children between the age of 3 and 6 so that they can be integrated into inclusive school.
That's great. And then you mentioned in your speech, you are going to start the first early intervention center in Lagos, right?
Yes.
So, but the demand is high. Huge number of children with blindness, they don't get an opportunity. And how you are going to address reach more number of children? Do you have any plan to reach all the children?
You will agree with me that we can't do it all when we start. We need to start gradually. And our focus is to reach out to number of areas as much as possible. But what our focus is to make Swing High a template for anyone to copy so that these children can have opportunity. We don't want to hone it and hold it to ourselves. We want people to copy what we do so that at least these children can go to school.
Great. Yeah. Maybe Abhijit, let's ask his question later. I will come back. Abhijit?
Thanks, Kat. Yeah, I'm here. I hope you hear me.
Yes.
My very first question is, this is a school for very small kids, right? Why do you call it Swing High? As in like a high school? Is there a reason for this?
Yes, because one of the things we are working on is to build their self-confidence. We want them to do things confidently, and you agree with me that if you are not confident, you can't be on the swing. By the time you are swing, you are afraid. So we want to swing them and swing them high so that they can be strong.
Nice, okay. So it is not high as in high school, but
no,
high as in
yes.
High. Okay. Great, thank you. One more question was, have you found any other inspiring projects or other learning spaces in other parts of the world that you feel are very inspiring to you, or something that you would want to take some pieces from, some learnings from, especially in the early childhood?
Yes, I have a mentor in the house. I have Sabrie that I've done this before. And I'm learning a lot from her, and I will still learn more.
Okay. I recommend checking out also forest schools from Finland. You might like it. Yeah, that's all the questions I had. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions from the panelists here? Or, yeah, you can.
So how you see your children after completing your adventure school at the Swing High, what they will do after?
Yeah. We want to say our children walking into inclusive schools confidently, be able to read, write, participate in the class, and people should start asking them, where are you coming from? Are you blind at all? We want a very confident children to come out of our school.
That's very cool. Do you have any plan to handhold them for certain years?
You have what?
Handholds some years for them to get included themselves in the mainstream school?
I didn't get that question.
What I'm asking, after graduating from your school, and you mentioned they are going to the mainstream school, but not every child can be proactively included themselves.
So how do you basically help them to transition, right?
Okay, we work in collaboration with inclusive schools, regular schools. We select some schools that we recommend. Anyway, we want them to be able to go to any school, but still, at first, we need to select schools. We need to collaborate with schools that we want, so that we will be able to monitor their progress. This work with the schools, we help us to identify a child that is not fully confident to be left on his own.
Yeah. So I think we have to work in both directions. Either we prepare our children, proactively included themselves in the mainstream schools. Parallelly, we also prepare the school to include a child with blindness in their classrooms. Do you have any plan to prepare the schools?
Microphones closer.
Do you have any plan
to prepare the schools? Okay, yes. It's still in the planning process, but our plan is to go through these schools, to give them awareness, invite them to our school. By the time they see what our children can do, they will not be afraid to accept them. Then they will work with them better. That's our plan for now.
All the very best.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Big round of
Thank you,
applause.
Joshua. Okay, Priya, so this brings us to the end of our first session.
That's right for the day. So now our next session will begin at sharp
2.
So we would request you all to be here at least 10 to 15
10 to
minutes.
2.
Yeah, 10 minutes to 2. So kindly be seated and we start our next session at 2 sharp.
With some more fiery speeches. So till then, enjoy your lunch and get back with energy. And so also, we wish to see all the online audience back as well. So thank you very much. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
It's Kanthari Talks 2023, Day 2, and we are now at the final segment of our speakers. Yes, We need
Welcome
that.
all of you, and kindly request you all to come forward and please be seated, and let's cheer up our last 4 speakers with the same enthusiasm, spirit, and let's encourage them. Come on, come forward, please.
Yes. And all the offline audience present here, we are very grateful for really helping us to run our program smoothly. So we again expect you to kindly please switch off your mobile phone. Do not walk in and out while the speakers are speaking. It definitely interrupts with our videographing. And also please do not take pictures. Our official photographers will definitely be taking great pictures and will be sharing with you all later.
Great. So now on to the introduction of our panelists. Shall we start?
Yes,
Or-
I think
Yes.
let's welcome our panelists.
Welcome. So let's start with our online panelists first. Welcome Shreya Parikh. She's a highly decorated solution journalist with 10 years of experience in documenting lesser reported stories of social change. She has covered over 1,000 stories from different parts of India and neighboring countries. She is the founder of the Stories of Change. Welcome to you, Shreya Parikh.
Welcome you, Shreya.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm on the move, so my internet is patchy, but so good to be here back again. It has become my annual ritual to be on this panel, and I'm really excited to listen to all the dream talks and know more about your work.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. And next we have Dilip Jain. Dilip is a chartered accountant, and SPIIMR MBA embodies the 3 E's, the entrepreneurship, education, and environment. With 7 years in Marico and Voltas, co-founding Aventus Estate and supporting startups, he is a leader in corporate strategy, a founding member of the Himalayan Institute of the Alternatives Ladakh, and a vital force behind the ICE Stupa project. Dilip advocates eco-friendly initiatives. As the founder of the DIED Foundation, he focuses on ecological harmony in 7 villages, operating the ME2 Kids Club to nurture nature, adventure, and volunteering for children. Dilip, a consultant and coach, guides individuals and organizations on purpose, innovation, CSR, and personal growth. Welcome to you, Dilip.
We welcome you. Thank you for being with us.
And now for our panelists who are seated here, Riti V. Srivastava, welcome. She's an executive coach and counselor for startup founders. As an ICF ACC and NLP master practitioner, she brings wide-ranging expertise to her role. Currently, she serves as an executive coach at Founders Nest, conducting over 300 coaching sessions with startup founders and leaders. Riti excels in founder development, co-founder alignment, conflict resolution, leadership development, and team alignment. In her past role as a co-founder at Culturo, she designed frameworks vital for shaping company culture and fostered client relationships, focusing on founder coaching, leadership development, and team alignment.
We welcome you, Riti.
And last but not the least, we have Raghunath Veeravel. Raghunath Veeravel's idyllic childhood in a green village turned into an ecological nightmare due to industrialization and a polluted river. As a marine engineer, he sailed around the world for 9 years, facing challenges such as fires and persecution by pirates. He found solace in cycling through the clean air of Auroville. He came to Canari in 2019 and founded Aranya to fight the looming 8-lane highway through the forest. Raghu is passionate about protecting the environment and is against the destruction of nature in the name of progress. In a unique combination, he promotes cycling and reforestation while creating awareness about the local environment and biodiversity conservation.
Welcome you, Raghu. He's also our Canari alumni. Priya, I'm upset my Fair and Lovely are over.
Don't you think those kind of creams kill the melanin?
Come on, I want to be that snow white, fair, and look pretty.
I don't think it's a good idea because I really, really wonder what life would be like without melanin.
Okay.
So maybe our next speaker can tell us all about it. So, welcome to the stage
for Sherlene from
Kenya.
Kenya.
My life was a waste. They said the stars had misaligned. I ran away from the Creator before He was done molding me. They called me a curse from hell. Maybe Mama should have listened to the midwife. A little twist would have silenced my newborn cry. I'm a white spot on a black continent, a rare and petrifying sight. Some think I'm a ghost, and some a pot of gold. What color is that thing? Don't go close to her. She'll infect you. And she's money. Let's kill her. She's the cause of all our misfortunes. I need a cocoon from the world. I live in fear. Fear of the dark, of the shadows lying in wait, fear of the sun, of its scorching rays, and worst of all, fear of myself. Nimechoka kuishi kwa woga. I don't want to live in fear anymore. When you interact with an adult albino from Kenya, you're most likely to come across a person who is meek and has low self-esteem. Let me tell you why. Imagine being a child with albinism in rural Kenya, when you see other children playing around and you want to join them and catch some fun too. They start calling you names, throwing sticks at you, spitting at you, and others just don't want to play with you because you're different. You're being bullied and discriminated everywhere. Your confidence as a child is shattered, and the only solution you have left is to isolate yourself from everyone else. Despite having gone through these experiences myself, I was lucky to follow my brothers around when they were climbing trees and sliding on mud, but I still had to defend myself from being bullied by other children. So I carried a stick around to beat anyone who dared make fun of me. The discrimination grows with you into adulthood. There are two main things that adults do: working and dating. Imagine seeing your peers going for interviews and securing jobs, but when you apply for an interview, every single time you get the response, "Sorry, we don't have positions for your kind." And what about dating? The person you like is either repulsed by you, or they just want to sleep with you, believing that having sex with an albino gives them supernatural powers. Some people think that albinos have nothing good to offer. But when you have lived your life being pushed around, told you don't belong, put down, bullied, you lack the confidence and ability to offer anything. In the midst of all this, I found solace in fashion. When many hear fashion, they think size 0 models or high beauty standards, but for me, fashion was an escape route. It was a way to channel my energy and unleash my creativity. My love for fashion began in childhood when I was gifted a Barbie doll. I loved it so much, and I started hand-stitching tiny clothes for it, and people found them beautiful. Ever since then, I started exploring different aspects like photo shoots, pageantry, high fashion, you name them. I've tried it. But I see albinos being put down and being shattered and being shunned from every single corner. So to change this, I founded Anant Tami. At Anant Tami, we foster self-confidence, self-acceptance, and integration of albinos in Kenya. Using art and fashion as a tool of training, we divided our curriculum into 4 phases, tailoring to the needs of our beneficiaries. Let me show you how. In phase 1, we use storytelling, where our beneficiaries will share the stories of their lives and how they envision it after training. They will use fabric and paint to add color and texture to their stories as they are told. This will help them to open up to creativity, to feel that their expression is valid, and to connect their artistic expression to what is deep within them. They will also be introduced to different types of fabrics, colors, patterns, and textures for them to understand the unlimited possibilities within design. In phase 2, we will put them in a fictitious environment resembling the societies they are from. The aim here is to empower them to have self-confidence, face insecurities, respond to crisis, and manage emotions. They will also choose an art project of their liking, where they can play around with different fabrics and textures to come up with an art project, be it clothing, accessories, or anything they think about. And coming to phase 3. As a significant shift occurs within them, we introduce financial literacy. Here, they get to learn essential skills such as making pitches, developing business plans, and maintaining cash books. And finally, but not least, of course, we come to phase 4. According to their interests and abilities, we will link them to different photographers, artists, or fashion designers to job shadow and get mentored. Here, they will enhance their practical skills and earn a real-world experience. We want to create versatile problem solvers with skills applicable beyond design, empowering them to stand tall in the midst of discrimination and change the perception of albinism in their localities. Paul Cronenberg said, "A person who has a task has value. And with value comes respect. With respect comes dignity. And dignity is the foundation of self-confidence." We want albinos to build that foundation of self-confidence by unleashing their creativity and nurturing that niche in society. By the way, some of you may be offended by the word albino and would like to use the so-called person-first language and call me a person with albinism. As if people need to be reminded that albinos are persons as well, right? If people can't see beyond the condition, don't blame the language, my friend. I want to reclaim that. It's simple. Al, by, no. 3 syllables that describes my condition perfectly, and that's all it describes. We want albinos in Kenya to declare, "I don't need permission to belong. I belong." Thank you.
Thank you so much. Shall we first start with the online panelists? So, Shreya, do you have a question for her? Shreya, do you have a question? Dilip, okay. Oh, Dilip, do you have a question for Sharon?
Yeah, thank you. It was a very nice presentation, and I appreciate your efforts. The question that I have is, you could have easily got into your own shell, seen the discrimination. So what was the motivation or inspiration or effort that made you come out of it and work on the fashion and get dignity and respect for yourself and others? Instead of getting into the shell, you came out to change the world. What was the reason or motivation for that?
Okay, so as I had mentioned earlier, fashion designing was more of an escape route. For example, today, what I have put on also is something I designed by myself. These were pieces of tops that I cut and then sewed them together to make these pants. So when I feel like I am being put aside or being discriminated, I try to create something. That was when I was a child. It was a way to cope. But then I realized that people are appreciating what I have created. So I just kept on doing it and expressing, trying to make something, especially with your hands, putting your mind there and creating itself. Trying to create something makes you express yourself. It makes you open up. And so even the people, it builds up your confidence, one, and other people see that. It's like a light that has been shown. So other people see that, and they start to welcome you. So that was what has built me. Just creating and creating and creating and creating is what has built my confidence to come out of my shell and to actually express myself to the world.
Thank you so much. Just one more question. How has your family been earlier and now? Is there any change, or they have always been supportive or unsupportive, or has anything changed in their outlook and attitude towards you?
So my family had a different, or rather limited perception of or understanding of albinism before. This is because even I didn't know what albinism was. So you find that when I'm being discriminated, they just know, okay, because she's different and all that. In fact, even my dad, there was a time that when I was still a child, I went to my dad and asked him, why are people not playing with me, not interacting with me? The response he gave me was, oh, because you're my child and I bought you from London, and so I picked you from the market. So there was that perception that I am a Mzungu, which means white person. But now that we all know about what albinism is, and they see me as who I am, I express myself as who I am, they don't see, oh, an albino in our family. This is just Sherlene. This is Sherlene, our sister, our daughter, and all that. So they have embraced the albinism.
Thank you. Thank you, Dilip. Over to Shreya, since we have 4 panelists and we would like to give all the panelists one opportunity. So let's start with one question first, and then we have time, we can move on to our next questions, okay? So over to you, Shreya. Are you still online to ask?
There is a network error in Shreya's side. So she has posted the question. So I'll read out it. Who do you want to target through your organization? Is it the albino community to help them overcome the stigma, or is it other people to make them more accepting and aware? Who do you think is more important to approach?
So my target group, direct target group, is the albinos who have experienced the discrimination in childhood and they haven't overcome it. So I want to help them overcome, to empower them to overcome the stigma and actually be able to stand up for themselves. So those are my direct target group.
Okay, thank you. Over to you, Riti. It's working.
Okay, thank you. So, hi, Sherlene. I think you have a very good stage presence, and your story was really motivating. So, thank you for sharing it. I have one question for Anant Tami, which is your organization. So, what is the main purpose of this organization? Do you want to create that self-confidence in these people, or do you help them to get a job, or empower them to be financially independent?
Both. So the main focus is first to create the confidence, the change from within, so that they can come out and speak up for themselves. And of course, what is the need of being confident and being bold and standing out there and expressing yourself without being financially stable? Because a lot of people get that lack of confidence because they know they're poor, they know they're depending on people. So we want them to also be financially stable, and that is why in phase 3 we are including financial literacy so that they can be able to stand for themselves, to support themselves, and not feel like they're at the mercies of other people.
I have a follow-up question, but I'll put it.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. You will definitely.
Yeah, thank you, Sherlene. Indeed, it is a hardship and very inspiring journey that you had, and you are in a big stage right now. I take this moment before I jump into the question. I just want to know if you are thankful in your life. 2 person you can name. So who it will be?
Sorry, if I was what?
Thankful.
Thankful. If you are thankful in your life for being here on the big stage right now throughout your journey, so who will be the first person you want to thank?
The first person would be my late mom. When I was, I think, below 6, I don't know how I remember this, but I remember I was the last person in class, and my mother was showing around my papers to other nurses, and she was saying, my daughter is bright. And others are saying, but she's bright and she's the last. But she kept saying, no, my daughter is bright. You haven't seen her. My daughter is bright. So every single time I feel like giving up, I always remember those words. My daughter is bright. You haven't seen her. So I still feel like even the world has not yet seen me. Like I'm brilliant. That keeps pushing me. And also the other most important person is my father. Apart from me loving him so much, he has always been encouraging me. Whenever, every single time I do something, even when I'm flying to Canari, he told me, go and actually show the world what you can do. You are strong. So I'm actually thankful for those two people right now.
Yeah, very good. Actually, they will be very proud of you. But I rather happy that you put yourself first to be thankful and be strong yourself, because it took 25 years to accept yourself first, right? You have mentioned your document. Okay, here my next question. I'm going to the question. And I can see it in your document, and when Ife was talking, and there are albino people who have been kidnapped for their body parts, right? So what is that plan? Because they are being kidnapped because the society or the people having some kind of stereotype and clutching with the belief that they will get some good fortune or some good things will happen to supernatural power kind of thing. So what is the plan you have that to declutch that belief from the society and make sure that every albino is safe?
Okay. So for starters, yes, that is a very key thing that needs to be tackled, or a key matter that needs to be tackled. But for now, we are actually working with the self-confidence of albinos who literally have no confidence. And then from that, because someone can actually approach you and attack you when they know you're defenseless. And so I also understand that there are organizations that are tackling this matter, and even the government has picked it up. And mostly because it's happening mostly on the borders of Kenya, or also in Malawi or in Tanzania, any single country that is close to Tanzania, since that is the black market, quote unquote, of albinos' body parts. We will actually work with the government if it comes to that point where we have to stop that. But for now, we are actually empowering persons with albinism. Before we go to the society, we are empowering persons with albinism first, so that they can be bold, they can be strong to stand for themselves, to say no to someone who is trying to harm them in any way.
Thank you. We're really sorry, Raghu, we're really running short, but I promised you that for a follow-up question,
It's
so
okay.
make it really short.
Yeah. So, again, the follow-up question from what Raghu said is that, making them financial literate means that they need to go out and get a job for themselves. They need to feel, the society needs to accept them. So that's where I was thinking, like, how do you want to tackle that?
Okay, yes, they can find a job for themselves, but they can also create jobs for themselves. So imagine, or maybe you've been in this scenario where you're seeing someone who is selling their product, and they're so confident, they so believe in their product that they're selling it as if they're selling, they're speaking for their own selves, as if it's their own life they're talking about. So you also get to be, oh wow, this person has created this by their hands, and they believe in it so much that you also believe in that. So that is it. The society wants to interact with people who are more confident, people who love themselves, with people who believe in themselves. It's more like interacting with people who are strong than interacting with those who are weak, because people want to also be linked and feel strong from that energy. So this is slowly how we will also be changing the perception of the society. In as much as we are not doing it directly, our participants, after they have already graduated and gone to the society, they will be doing it by themselves. And slowly but surely, there will be a shift from what the society believes about albinism now, and think them as human beings.
Thank you. Thank you, Sherlene. Give her a big round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you.
I knew of a Kanthari graduate from 2013. Her name was Harriet. Then later, years later, I met her in Germany. So I see her all over the place, and very energetic, vibrant woman. And she has so much of energy required to run the red light, to do a project on the red light districts of Kampala. So would love to see that video of hers right now for a couple of minutes before we move on to our next speaker.
I got a friend, she told me that when you need money, you can come and join me. So we started going there out with men to get money. We saw our bodies to get money so that we can get money for our kids, for our problems, all of that, families.
For a sex worker, you're doing what we would call the dirtiest. That is what society thinks. You're doing the dirtiest business. Society won't embrace you, won't accept you. So when you are HIV positive, it would be a double stigmatization. Because when you go to the health centers to access the health services, they always think, I mean, you deserve it. You know, no one asked you to go ahead and sleep with 100 men in one night. And that is how they've been stigmatized. They cannot access the health services that they deserve as the nationals of Uganda.
Most girls get into sex work because maybe their parents or their mothers were sex workers and they end up doing this.
The concept of rhythm of life is basically empowering the daughters of HIV positive sex workers with a professional health training to take care of their mothers and the entire stigmatized society, you know, like the red light area.
Rhythm of life takes girls and educates them in school. From the schools, we go to what we call the Rhythm of Life ambassadors. And these girls become activists, they become girls who can talk to other fellow girls. They use their voices to speak through blogging, through moving into schools and talking to other girls. And this program currently has 7 girls. And from these 7 girls, we believe that at the end of this year, we can go up to a number like 15.
Where we can have a professional doctor who has come from the red light area, where we have counselors, we have psychiatrists, we have a number of people that have taken the medical path, the medical career, and they are benefiting themselves, they are benefiting their families, and they're benefiting the entire society.
Rhythm of life, 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 rhythm of life.
Hello? Okay. Okay. So our next speaker comes from my own home country, Nepal. Dear brother, but the way he experienced his life and I experienced life in Nepal are completely different. So,
let's welcome
Karan Singh from Nepal.
This is heaven on earth. Breathe in the crisp, fresh air as crystal clear waters cascade down the majestic Himalayas. Welcome to Oda, a tranquil little village in western Nepal, where traditions abound and children's laughter rings out to the mountains. How wonderful would it be to live?
We waited hopeful for her to travel her bangle and promising her to get it back within my first awning. I never forget the last night at the bus stop. You know what? I slept in a set. Right above me, there was a light. Oh my God, I couldn't sleep all night. Was it a moon or a star? I was really curious. It kept waking me up all night. Only later I find out that this was just an electrical light. So far, electricity was never part of my life. I got my first job in India as a dishwasher. Soon I met a rafting tourists in Ganga River in Devprayag. They were there for rafting expedition. I helped them to offload their boat, and they offered me a job, and I eagerly accepted. This changed my life. From a dishwasher, I became a rafting guide. Once in a year, I got a time off from the rafting company to visit my family back home. During those visits, I always brought along medicine to our neighbors, bags and books for the children. All this while, I was wondering how I could improve the life of my communities. In 2013, I met a young man from US, John Christopher. Together, we went to visit my village. There, he is the one who became a Sikh. He had a first-hand experience what it means to have no healthcare service. This motivated us to develop my communities. And together, we turned my mother cow shed into a clinic. With pharmacy, with outpatient department. We also hired a medical professional. Our villagers were very happy to have free healthcare service close by. Then we found the Oda Foundation. Then the villagers come together and they donate their land and free labor. We built the first community hospital. And collaborating with the government, now we are offering 24/7 free healthcare service, including birthing center. This saved thousands of lives. Education also became a priority. We don't want other children to quit their school. We transformed an old rundown school into a fully operational one. We equipped with the education material, employ teachers, building bathroom and running water. 10 years ago, we started the Oda Foundation. And yes, we made lots of impact. But there is a lot more need to be done. Do you remember people from our region, their needs and challenges? And do you remember our children are not able to go to school during the cold winter? Here in Kanthari, I discovered the idea to build a greenhouse. But this time, not only for growing vegetables and flower in the winter, but also for teaching children in always warm and sunny environment. And do you remember our farmers are migrating to India due to lack of job opportunities? Yes, farming is a hard job in our area. It's not that our land is infertile, but lots of fruits, vegetables get spoiled, especially in summer. The market is too far from our village. Therefore, we will offer intense business training and training in how to create a valid adjacent product. The product can be preserved for the long-term transport to the bigger market. And do you remember our community member have to walk hour and hour to reach our hospital? Imagine you got sick. There is no healthcare service nearby. But we also have a plan for this. Just listen. Thank you. With a drone, we'll send the medicine to even far remote villages. So the patient doesn't have to come to us. We will do same with the blood samples. The Oda Foundation want to demonstrate that living in a remote area doesn't have to be coincide with poverty. It can be a beautiful life. Thank you very much.
Great. Shall we start with Raghunath?
Yeah, it's very good, brother.
Thank
Good
you.
to see. And the adoption of drone to deliver medicine to collect blood sample, yeah, good idea. No, actually, development have to be in such a way that, yeah. My question is, do you have any plan to work with government or different organization which will bring the better transportation into a place, because that is lacking? So do you have any idea?
Yeah, we are, thank you for the question. We have already collaborating with the government. So our Oda Foundation believe is collaboration is very like our main strength. So even since the beginning, we are very closely working with the community and government. So now we have a doctor already getting a salary from the government. Also there is some medicine supporting from the government. So in the future also we will, when we send the medicine through the drone to the health post. So there is already the few health posts in the village. So we will work with the government and will send the medicine to the health worker. They will provide the service from the health post. That's our, yeah.
Over to you, Ruti.
So Karan, your personal story is very motivating. It's
Thank you.
very inspiring also, from, again, a dishwasher to almost a static manager of your, that's good, very inspiring. The question that I have for you is that, you talked about so many things, like great schools for kids, jobs for your community people, hospitals, etc. But what is it, what is that one thing that you would like to achieve first in next 2 years? Because you can't do and focus on all of it. So which is the most focus area for you?
Yeah, thank you very much for the question again. We feel like a really interconnect is to others. So when we started in 2013 in a cow set, we realized like education also lacking. The schools, the children are dropping out the schools. So we try to provide the education for the children. And then we realized there is a women empowered also need. They all, the rural development, it's all interconnected is to others. So our main focus in health and education, and now we like whatever the community need, wherever we go, we feel that, and we collaborate with the government. So we try to solve the problem what the community face in the ground.
Thank you.
Can we have a question coming from Dilip?
Yes, hi Karan, nice to see you again. Yeah, so my question is, how do you, empower the local community and some people from them to take charge for their own development? Because as a person, you might want to do a lot of things, but till a group of people from the village don't take charge and start working, it will always be a push thing, and this is something that even we are facing challenge with. So have you had any experience or any ideas on how to do that?
Thank you again for the question. We have, as I mentioned earlier, we believe like very like a collaboration. When we start, the community member, they donate their land and they are taking the ownership. So now what we are planning to do that, we are empowering the girls there and provide them the education, bring them to outside of Oda and provide them some like whatever they want to do in their lives, and they can return back to their community, and they can also support their family member, and they can also push their family member for more further. So we work very closely with them, and they will also take ownership, and they will also try to lead their future.
Thank you. Any further questions from you, Raghu or Riti?
No, nothing from my side.
Yeah, he's just looking. All good? All good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very
so
much.
So let's give him a big round of applause. I have a question for the 2023 participants. Have you heard of Srishti Village? Who runs the project? Not you, Tiffany. Uh, okay, just wanted to test, Karthik, whether it actually worked what you said in the morning. So let's just have a look at his project right now and see what is going on there.
Srishti means creation. I want to create an inclusive, self-sustaining, and eco-friendly village for the people with intellectual disabilities. But why? I spent more than 15 years in an orphanage. It's an inclusive orphanage. In my past 15 years experience, I realized people with disability, especially people with intellectual disabilities, they don't get enough opportunity in their life. And people think they just need care and support, but I think they just need an opportunity. If you provide the opportunity, you can see their life completely changing. This is what exactly at Srishti Village we are doing. Here we are providing a life. At the Srishti Village, the people with a disability and non-disabled, they can come, live, learn, work, generate income, and lead an independent and dignified life. You can see in my background, people are working, and they're working every day, and they're enjoying their work. And we are practicing organic farming. And there is a huge demand for the organic product. And the income helps them to lead their independent life. This is what Srishti wants to achieve. Srishti uses a combination of education, life skills training, and agriculture to support people who are faced with exclusion, neglect, and many other disadvantages that limit their effective participation in mainstream society. 27 graduates from Srishti got jobs in mainstream society and lead a valid and purposeful life. And we run a mobile therapy project in 88 villages. This includes physiotherapy, special education, parental counseling, and need-based services to children with disabilities. Currently, we are supporting 200 plus people with disabilities.
Yeah, I think much more has been already achieved, right, Karthik, after this? So, yeah, so we see this Kanthari talk is not just a talk, it's happening. Dream has been realized and impacting the lives of many.
And for those who had their dream speeches yesterday and today, we just cannot wait to see these videos. So, yeah, we're really looking forward to your dreams turning true. Yeah?
Priya?
Yes?
I just feel so thirsty suddenly.
Oops. Maybe you should just wait a little while so that, we can just get off the stage and go grab some water.
Yeah, at least we are blessed that we can just go grab clean water, drink it, right? But imagine what we cannot access, water.
Yeah, to shed light on this, we need to invite
Itohan
from Nigeria.
Wow. I can see you have a water bottle in your hand. I assumed you paid for this water. And you probably think that the manufacturer has done everything right. Is that true? Does it ever come into your mind that this water does not belong to the manufacturer, but to you, to us, to the people? Maybe those who made this deal did not even ask us. They pumped our groundwater. And what is left? A dry, smelling sludge. Is this the kind of future we want for ourselves and our children? What have we done to nature? We all need water to survive on a daily basis. And so we look out for the best source of water, which is our groundwater. Is pumping of groundwater a bad idea? No, it's not. However, pumping of groundwater without equal replacement, that is the problem. How can groundwater be replaced? Groundwater can be replaced by rainwater. Does Nigeria have enough rainwater to replace groundwater? Of course we do. What then is the problem? The problem of water scarcity in Nigeria are population growth, rise in number of water factories, excessive depletion of groundwater, and low level of groundwater. All this results in low income for farmers and food insecurity. While growing up, my parents were privileged to rent an apartment in a compound where water flowed from a single tap. Other people in the community who were not as privileged as we were, they came into our compound to fetch water. Do you have any idea of what the situation looked like? It's my turn. No, it's mine. That used to be the chaotic situation we experience on a daily basis. Until one day, this water suddenly stopped. We had to harvest rainwater from rooftops into bowls and drums, which of course were not sustainable. I had to wake up 5 a.m. every morning in search of water without any specific knowledge of where to get one. We had to carry bowls of between 15 to 25 liters on our head and walk in between cars and trucks, standing the risk of being hit. Water is a precious resource. And for this same reason, every houses with wells were under lock and key and prevented outsiders from having access to their water. During the dry season, the level of water in the well are usually low. And this made us to get water that were dirty and mixed with mud. We had to make use of a chemical substance called alum to purify the water and then filter before use. Having to go through the stress, having to go look for water every day was stressful and frustrating for me. But when we had no choice, it became our daily routine. And this had its share on my health and my education. After some time, I moved out of my parents' house. And I was so much eager to get an apartment where water would be flowing. But unfortunately, I couldn't get one. And then it dawned on me that water scarcity is widely spread across Nigeria. In the year 2018, I started working with one NGO founded by a Canari alumni by the name Lawrence Afere. The name of the NGO is Springboard. Springboard empowers farmers, organic farmers in rural communities. And there I got the opportunity to work closely with farmers and people in rural communities. And I realized that they did not even have enough water for their plants. This gave me the passion and shock that what I experienced, some people are still experiencing the same thing. And this made me to apply to Canari. And here in Canari, my organization, Omitide, was born. At Omitide, we envision a country where clean water is at everyone's reach. This can also be termed as everyone having access to clean water. Therefore, the word access to us became a tool. The A stands for altering the landscape. By altering, we don't mean completely changing or destroying the landscape, Rather, we build steps and terraces, as you can see, that helps rainwater find its way. The first C stands for catch. We catch rainwater wherever and whenever it falls, either at home or on the farm, into basins through water catchments and pipes. The second C stands for care. We use water carefully and with the understanding that water is a precious resource. We identify leakages, we close or repair dripping taps, all to minimize water wastage. The E stands for environment. We create an environment that helps to restore water in the ground through grasses, shrubs, bushes, and trees. This is because plants help to retain water in the soil. The first S, we slow down rainwater by digging meandering trenches. Meandering water helps to stop wash off of topsoil and it soaks the topsoil. And the last S stands for store. We store rainwater in reservoirs for household use and in ponds for agricultural purposes. We all have damaged the nature through our practices and lack of understanding. And now we learn to correct our past mistakes through nature. Why do we have to do this? Because we all are coming to a point where we lack access to water. And the hotter the climate becomes, the more we long for the sound of fresh water. Thank you.
Can we have a question coming from Riddhi first?
Thanks, Etan. It was a lovely story. And also it's inspiring to see how Kanthari graduates are not only making themselves the change, but inspiring others to also to go on that path. So that's really nice. The question that I have for you is that, whatever you talked about, it's a very large-scale project, having a land, having a storage system, etc. So do you have a land or something on which you can start as a pet project or a test project? Also, do you have any connection with the government or anything? Because these are large projects and would require some kind of intervention by them.
Thank you. I'm also aware of the fact that this is a large project. And before coming to Canari, I'm already connected to a community where we'll be starting the pilot project. I've spoken with the head of the community, and they are willing to give us a land where we can install all these watershed techniques. And as time goes on, I believe that with the success we record in the project, we also collaborate with the government because, of course, the issue of water is not something an individual can solve. So definitely we'll collaborate with the government as time goes on.
Yeah, thanks, Etan. Would you like to have some water now?
I had enough before coming. Thank you.
So first I need to understand that it is the access to the water or availability of the water. What is the problem actually?
Okay, so the challenge is it's not as if we don't have rainwater, we have rainwater. People have access to water during the raining season, but we are looking at a situation whereby we will not have access to water at a particular time of the year. We want people in rural communities and farmers especially to have access to water for their plants all through the year so that they can farm all through the year. And this will also help in the price of food produce from the farm and the health of people in the rural communities.
Okay, my follow-up question. The people actually, they are searching for water in the places. Actually, we are not, actually we should not search for water in the ground. We should search water from the sky. Yeah. Actually, the tree plantation and everything that you want to do for the environment, which helps actually. The thing is, how are you going to help people in your rainwater harvesting project? So what was that percentage of, like for example, in Kerala where we are living in now, from my knowledge, I know that every house in this place have the rainwater harvesting implemented, like in Canari also. So what is the strategy, what is the statistics in your place?
Okay, so presently in Ondo State, we have less than 42% of people in Ondo State that have access to water. And our strategy for this, of course, the first step is this talk. We have a number of Nigerians online listening to this. And by the time I get back home, I will be conducting an awareness. And also, we intend to work with architects and builders, because we believe that these are the key people that will be building for people, and we need to sensitize people to change their mindset, because presently, as we speak in Nigeria, when it comes to clean water, what comes to mind is digging of boreholes. And of course, you get clean water, but this is also depleting groundwater. But because Omi today is concerned about the future of our groundwater, we'll be making use of the builders and the stakeholders involved in getting a building to enlighten house owners on the importance of rainwater harvesting, and also we'll be working with people in rural communities as well.
Thank you. So yes, you can follow.
Okay.
Maybe, or can you just hold your question for a minute? Yeah. I'll come back to you. We have time, so let me just quickly go to Dilip. Dilip, a question from you?
Yeah. Hi, thanks. It was a nice presentation. And the situation that you mentioned in Nigeria is very similar to what we have in India at many places. And the burden of all the water issue generally falls on the woman. So is it different in Nigeria, and how are male counterparts responding to the whole issue, and are they doing anything, or they are least concerned? How is it, and how do you engage them?
Thank you, Dilip. The situation is not different in Nigeria, because the sole responsibility of getting water lies with children and women. And this is one of the reasons why we are coming to bridge this gap, because women are you want to agree with me that when a woman is successful, the home is successful. So because women and children are the stakeholders involved in this, we want women to be productive in their place of work, and children also to be productive in school. Like I mentioned in my own case, I had my own share where my education was affected because of what I went through. So this is why we are also looking at addressing this problem. It's nothing different from what you're experiencing. Women and children are the stakeholders, and they are the ones that stand the risks, because they had to walk long distance to get water. So, which is why Omi today is coming in.
Okay, Raghu, maybe your question.
My next question is about the storage. If we catch the water in a pond or lake or some kind of storage system, the storage system which you have shown is this steel, right? Yeah. Stainless steel storage tanks. So what happens if it exposed to the sunlight? There will be evaporation, right? Yeah. Because I know the Nigeria is the hottest country in Africa. Yeah. So what is the alternative plan? So where you can store water?
Okay, so the idea actually is because for now, we know that water is something we need on a daily basis, and we are looking at what will be sustainable all through the year, so that what we mean by access, everyone will have access to it. So what we'll be doing is we'll be having watershed management, where we'll have a particular well in a community where people will have access to it. This, the reservoir you've seen is one of the things we'll be doing, but the alternative is having wells that will be covered for people to have access to water.
Okay. One more suggestion, actually.
Okay.
So I think, which is the largest country in Africa for oil and gas richness?
It's Nigeria.
Nigeria, right?
Yes.
So I like you to study about more how it is related to the water scarcity in this country.
Okay. I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Raghu. And you also mentioned you worked with Springboard, with Lawrence. I know him since 2012. So are you planning to start with his farmers, or if you have which community are you planning to start with this project?
Okay, before coming to Canari, I did a survey with the farmers, the beneficiaries. Of course, it was through them that I got to know that they don't have enough water. So for the pilot phase, we have some communities in mind. However, beneficiaries of Springboard also will be one of our beneficiaries, because if you agree with me, everyone needs water. So,
That's right. Thank you. And Dilip, do you have any further questions, or? One question from Karthik.
Thanks for the wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
You can also think about the grey water management system that
Okay.
we implemented in our project also that saves so much of our clean water. We
Yeah.
use the, I think in Kanthari also already
Yes.
implemented, we use the shower water, kitchen water by using the bio cleaning, and then we can use it for our
With the recycling system. It's part of the plan.
Thank
you. Yeah.
Great. So sorry, 1 minute before you clap. Dilip? Okay, Dilip, a quick question from your side and then we can give her
Yeah. I'm still wondering if you have any thought on how do we engage the male counterparts in the whole issue, because still we don't get them on board. We are not going to be able to solve this.
Okay, for the male counterpart, there's no way they will not be involved because they are, most of them are farmers. So, of course, we'll be creating awareness in the community. And one of the things that time did not permit me to mention in my speech is the fact that we'll be working with people in rural communities to execute these projects. We'll be collaborating with them. So there's no way the male will not be part of the project. One of the solution is to train 5 youths in each community in watershed management techniques, and they will be used, we'll take them to, they will serve as replicate for us in other communities. So the project is not only focusing on children and women alone. Definitely male will be part of it because all of us need water. Male cannot survive with water, so they can't be exempted.
So let's give her a big round of applause and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before we move on to our last speaker, do you remember the song and the speech that we heard end of the day yesterday? Do you remember that? Yes. I want to see a little bit more about her project. I want to see this feisty woman's project, what she's up to. So let's have a quick look. Thank you.
There are 3 sets of workshops that we provide, especially traveling all around the world, partnering with the like-minded organization. The first is interpersonal skill. Here we focus on body language, body movement, gesture, posture, facial expressions, emotions, because this is especially the problem for the born blind people when the world is dependent upon this visual. When we can't see, we can't learn, and nobody thinks it's necessary to teach. And the second is dance, fashion, and beauty. Being a dancer myself, I love dancing, and now I want other blind also to dance. We actually want the blind people to dance so that they don't need to sit in a corner while they are in a picnic or a party. The third workshop we provide is adventurous trip like rock climbing, rafting, paragliding, hiking.
यो राफ्टिङमा जानुभन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ मलाई मेरो घरबाट नजाऊ भन्नुभएको थियो कि म जान्छु, मेरो साथीहरू सबै टोटली ब्लाइन्ड साथीहरू त जानुभएको छ, म त यतिको देख्छु नि भनेर दाइलाई मैले फोर्स गरेँ हैन.
Blind rocks, also to create the mindset change in the society. Everybody faces challenges, and especially we as a blind and disabled are really good in overcoming challenges and transforming it into the assets. We as a blind also live a rocking life.
Blind rocks the world.
Blind rocks the world.
Blind rocks the world. It's like that. Is it like that or what?
Blind rocks the world.
Blind rocks the world. Blind rocks the world. Blinds rock the world.
The blind
rocks the world.
Oh, great. So, Srishti.
Yes, now it's time to invite the final speaker of the day of
but
Canari Talks
wait a
2023.
Wait a minute. I have a question for you.
Oh, yeah, I just got so excited.
Yeah, I know. Don't you think we need an in-house doctor here in Canari?
Oh, but we were very lucky this year. We
Really?
had a doctor from Indonesia, doctor for all of us and for our dogs as well.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. So here we welcome Johnny Sulustio from Indonesia
as our last speaker.
According to the WHO report of 2022,
75,000 new cases were reported in India, 18,000 cases in Brazil, 10,000 cases in Indonesia, Congo 4,000 cases, 10 cases in the USA, and 1 case in Germany.
You may wonder what these statistics are all about. HIV, dengue, tuberculosis? No, this is the most miserable and neglected infectious disease, leprosy. Medically, it has no more issues because the antibiotic is there. But the social stigma attached to this disease is the biggest problem. You know why? Let me tell you a little bit about this leprosy. It's an infectious disease caused by Mycobacterium leprae, transmitted through the droplet. And the first symptom and sign that people could recognize is through the skin. And this skin usually patch white or pink. Those skin numb. Because the nerve is already damaged. Now, you try to imagine if my finger, no more pain sensation, multiple injury, multiple infection, even the knuckle is full of, what is the remaining? Only deformity. And this deformity frightening the population. But the stigma happened far before Christ. Leprosy considered as the curse of God, the leper considered as the sinner. It goes on for centuries until 1870s. Dr. Armauer Hansen discovered the medicine, not the medicine, the germ. And the entire world declared, this is infectious disease. But what would the world do to confine the transmission? There is no way, isolation. And this isolation strengthened the stigma. The entire health society responsible for this, it required 100 years to find the antibiotics until WHO declared the multiple drug therapy is an antibiotic combination actually in 1980s. So they declare this leprosy is curable. But now, what those already crippled, still horribly frightening the society, and they keep away. Sound pathetic. But why this guy interested in this leprosy? It come to my personal experience. Right after my retirement in the corporation, I get bored as a medical doctor. So I changed my profession, become cows inseminator. I went to the field, my beneficiaries cows, they're always calling me, oh, meaning, Johnny, come, please impregnate me. I was happy. I declare myself as a gynecologist, obstetric specialist in cows. Until one day, I encountered with a patient. Leprosy with all of the deformity, and it makes me sad, disappointed, anger. Why I could not do anything with this case? My contemplation and thought, could I be of help of this? By fortune, I came across with international organization. Deal with clinical trial. My beneficiaries will be the case and people contact to this case. Posted in East Java. In that assignment, I came across with a lady, around 50 years old. And then the first time I met her, I got refusal. Because from her house, he shouted, "Oi! I am healthy. No need any medical doctor. Go away." I could not pursue my visit. But I has a plan. Next visit, I will try to come again with different style. So a month later, I say, "Hi, ma'am. How is your cows?" She smiled. I got her. I get closer to her and a very warm discussion. And then I notice every single skin lesion, it's proven a severe type of leprosy. Based on this story, remind me to Mr. Jose Sasakawa. He is the WHO ambassador for leprosy. He says that dealing with leprosy, just like a bicycle riding, it has two wheels, the first one and the second one, the front one representing the medical, and then the rear one representing the social intervention. It has to go together. But what am I? I am just a medical professional, no skill at all in the social skill, and especially for this huge social stigma of leprosy. It brings me to a situation, come to Canari, here I am among all the young generation, got trained, got transformation, and allow me to find this new organization, House of Ketupat. Ketupat, just a simple food covered by interwoven coconut leaf, available only once a year as a gesture of celebration for those who just finished fasting Ramadan festive. While the house is bamboo construction, whereby medical professionals and social experts will take care of all this leprosy, but we also involve the surrounding volunteerism. Within the house, we try to provide at least three services: medical part, improvement of livelihood, and then the education. But this education, we produce comics, and this comic will be distributed to all the school children surrounding us. Having this House of Ketupat, we expect our beneficiaries could restore their sense of purpose, could drive the social meaningful social contribution, and regain the respect and dignity. Of course, the house, homely house, will invite people to screen their skin, and if it is turned to be positive leprosy, we can start away with the medication. The more successful medicated person, then the more frequent we can celebrate using ketupat. To conclude, let me tell you this story. Once I come across with a crowd. With this crowd so noise, I try to recognize there is a person in the middle, but I know him. That person in the middle of the crowd, Abu, is my friend. Abu tried to calm down all the crowd, and then he tried to smoke his cigarette. The cigar light up, put on his hand, and then in a sudden, the stub push on the other palm. Once, twice, thrice, not even any expression on his face. She smiled a bit, and the crowd start clapping, hooray, shouting, Abu hebat, you are a magician. And then the crowd start throwing the money. Abu happy. Slowly, the crowd gone. I get closer to Abu. I hold his hand. Abu, you wounded yourself. Because of this leprosy takes your pain away. You are not magician. Next time, when you step on your toe, when you cut your finger, you got burned on your skin in the kitchen, and you in pain scream, ouch! Be thankful. Pain is a gift. My people living with leprosy do not have this gift. Thank you.
Let's start with the questions from, let's start the question from Dilip. Dilip, are you online?
Yeah, I am online, but sorry, I couldn't hear very clearly. The voice was very not clear, so I didn't understand half of it. Just if you can summarize, so what is it that you are currently doing for leprosy? Sorry, I didn't get the whole thing.
Okay, so maybe we just move to the panelists here, Dilip, and then maybe we get back to you, yeah? Maybe then you get an idea.
Okay.
Okay, can you move to you?
Sure, thank you. Yeah. So Johnny, I think apart from being a doctor, you can be a good artist or an actor. I think it was fabulous. It was beautiful, you know. You have an alternate career also apart from being a doctor and a cow doctor and now an actor. Yeah. I don't have everything was very perfect, so not too many questions. Only one thing which again, which I was thinking as to how do you want to do this, is that see, leprosy is a stigma, and you need to create an acceptance in the society. That's more important. Definitely, that's equally important as far as curing the leprosy patient. And you said that the only way you want to create the acceptance, that what I got from your speech was through comic books. Through comic books that you said, you know, you want to create and send it to the kids, etc. But what about the elders and, you know, the adults in the society? And how do you want to create acceptance in them? Because that is where I think magic would happen.
Thank you, Riti. Anything deal with the adult awareness, we got already a lot of NGO doing with this. So we don't not want to compete with this kind of been work already. So that's why we start to choose which segment that we can work on. And we think that dealing with start from the beginning in the school children will be better. We were fortunate because the area that I'm going to work has a lot of boarding school. And it's very easy for us to approach this school because the concentration of these children is there. So we just need to approach the schoolmaster, the school teachers, and then we can start distributing these comics.
Thank you, and over to you, Raghu.
Yeah, let me throw some compliments before I get into the question. So you mentioned that you were fortunate to mingle with younger batch. I mean, younger students in this batch. But with your performance, we all feel that you are younger and with the high energy. Yeah. So, are you ready for the Mumbai Marathon in January?
I think Raghu will accompany me to have this marathon.
Definitely. If you are available, I will take you. Okay. Let's go to the question. Okay. You have shared your experience saying that the social stigmatization, right? So how is that stigma currently in your place, and what is the plan to change the mind shift? So the leprosy, they accept themselves, and society also need to accept them to get included, right? So how are you going to do that mind shift?
I was lucky when I was working with this clinical trial. I was posted in this East Java. And then my lucky was, there was a study on perception. And what happened, the audience was not only community, not only health professional, but also medical professionals. And really unfortunate for us because the medical professional is supposed to give a real example, not stigmatize. still have that kind of perception. So, to my opinion, I can start to lead my own professionals, especially younger professionals, to come to my house of ketupat, and then they can get acclimatization with all these kind of issues. But my plan in the house of ketupat, we try to recruit the social professionals first, because we need to understand better. For the doctor, when they got start, all the evidence, probably much easier. But for the community, it's very difficult. I believe all of you, if I saying the transmission is through droplet, then you can start questioning me, how do you prevent from this droplet? And you?
Okay, so we have some viewers who've been watching your talk. We have some questions that has come up on YouTube, so maybe can I request Gautam to just read them?
Okay, Johnny, the question is, how would the house of ketupat be sustainable financially long after it is built?
Thank you. Probably the most interested structure of this house of ketupat might invite all the donor is the bamboo structure. By having this bamboo structure, it's proven earthquake-proof, and then eco-friendly. And then this house, we try to make a 3-dimension prototype. The 300 square meter only supported by 10 columns. So this house provides a lot of space. So let's back to the financial support. This is what we believe. And then the second thing, my background as part of the corporation may got a lot of supporter. So I will ask my friends to help me.
We have one last question for you from the viewers. Gautam, please.
Okay, Johnny, we have a very special comment from a very special person to you. So I like how my dad put it so elegantly. Pain is a gift. Me, as an anesthesiologist, whom learn about pain for years, it is because of pain man survived the harsh world.
Sorry, my son is an anesthesiologist. Thank you for the question, son. I still need to say him a son, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a comment. It was a comment.
Yeah,
It
but
was a
I need to explain this. Actually, the anesthesiologist could contribute a lot. How? The anesthesiologist will try to suppress the pain, right? While leprosy, they need to recover the pain. And how do they do that? Using your anesthesiologist expert.
Johnny, thank you so much, but don't leave. Don't leave, just be there on the stage. I would like to invite Sabri on the stage now.
What's another surprise?
Okay, yeah, a little surprise. No, what I just want to say, sometimes we have people coming to Canari, young, energetic, sometimes not so energetic, right? But a lot of them have an attitude which I would call ageism. Do you know what that means? Yes? So now, ageism comes through when they say, I will train beneficiaries, my beneficiaries should be between 25 and 40. And you know what I ask?
Wow.
What about the others, right? What about above 40? Oh no, they don't have the energy. Okay, now I give you a little secret. This man here on my side is 66 years old. And he has the energy of 3 of our youngsters, right? Sorry to say, you can be angry at me now. We have another catalyst who's my mother, who becomes 85 years old in 2 months. 2 months only. Okay, good. Now, Johnny, you were taking so much care of all of us and the dogs. And who else? And all of us, right? You almost rescued my life. So, yes, we gave you the gift to be at the last, which probably for you was more like hiking up your BP, right?
Exactly.
I'm very sorry. I want to apologize for that. I don't have any medicine for that. However, I do have a medicine for maybe, or a reliever for skin problems for you, and for the burns you had before. So maybe that would help Abu to calm him down a little. And maybe, Priya, can you give him? On behalf of all our participants, and also on behalf of Frank, who brought the fresh shea butter from Ghana. Frank is one of our alumni from 21 who encourages women to make really organic shea butter. So this is all organic. It will hold forever, and it can hopefully help you and Abu to get a little better when you start to clean.
Thank you,
the
Sab.
wounds.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Frank, from Ghana to my country.
And now I just want to say thank you for Srishti anyway, but this is coming up later. Sorry, Srishti. But I would like to say thank you, because her job is over, for Priya.
Thank
Please,
you,
Priya. Thank you, Priya, so much. Ajit, do you have something? So also, on behalf of all of us, Priya, you did a fantastic job coming all the way from Germany. And by the way, she had a yoga retreat. And this is not a retreat. This is hardcore training, where you have to get up in the morning at 5 and have to do sports and yoga and all kinds of these strange movements, right? Standing on your head and doing all kinds of things. And she fell in her bed at 9:30, and she had to sing chants, which she didn't like so much, I think. But we have her here, all fresh, and hey, give her a big applause. So, also for you, we have Winds of Change, a greeting from all of the participants, and because you loved it so much for your own speeches and presentations in the future, the boat book. Well, sorry, guys, she didn't make any boats, but she deserves it too, right? So this is for all the online listeners. This is a book which we made while the other ones were working hard in the lake to fill up and to empty boats with water plants that would harm the lake. So we put all what we knew together in a little book with a lot of pictures and drawings. Even my brothers made drawings, and this we gave them as a thank you on behalf of the lake, the fish, and the frogs. and we have a little shea butter gift for you. To keep as young as you look now.
Thank you so much, Srishti. Shall we just wind it up? Yeah. Come. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you so much. Let's give Johnny a big round of applause.
Thank you.
Yay! So like as Sab rightly said, I came here straight after my yoga retreat, and I thought I would be super excited. But trust me, the moment I walked into those gates of Canari, I cannot even tell you the energy that I have now. Okay, so thank you guys so much. I mean, this place is simply marvelous. The positivity and energy this place holds, I cannot even tell you. Like something that pulls me back and keeps bringing me back all the time, every year, year after year. I think I'm just wedded to this place for life.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for all the 22 amazing speakers for sharing that creative solution and addressing the problem that world is facing today. You all were great, and thank you each one of you, the online, the offline audience, the online, the offline panelists, all the catalysts, Savria, Paul, all the team members, everyone who made this Kanthari Talks 2023 a big success. Thank you very much. So with this, we are closing up with the Kanthari Talks 2023.
But the fun is not over yet.
No.
It's just beginning, right?
Yeah. Actual fun starts.
Right. The fun starts now. So maybe in the next half an hour, at 4 o'clock, we begin our graduation program. Is that
Not
right?
the graduation
No.
program,
No,
Priya,
the
because we still have 3 more months to go with our mentorship. So it's a certificate ceremony.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Certificate ceremony, right.
Okay.
Thank you for
Thank
saying
you.
that, Srishti.
Yeah.
And so we see you all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So see you all. Thank you so much once again.
Bye-bye.